Make more sense.
What, did he
DoorDash
run his
drivers.
mailbox over? Look at the angle of this. This doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Speaking of,
I don't know what you want me to say.
You want the old
There's
man,
the
though?
picture.
You say the old man thing, Brown, with your cup thing? For me, I don't believe anything I get from DoorDash hasn't been tampered with.
So,
Tell you what, Tyler
Really?
does DoorDash.
Yeah. Like
You do
any-
DoorDash,
I've
Tyler?
never even thought of that.
Like,
well,
and I-
Grubhub, the same thing.
Grubhub, you wouldn't trust Tyler?
I would trust Tyler. Well, truthfully, the way he hates me, I don't think I would trust Tyler. I absolutely, in the house, the kids and Maggie will be like, hey, we're going to DoorDash, we're going to Grubhub in tonight. Do you want something from this place to this place? I'm like, hey, tell you what, you guys call in the order. I'm going to go pick it up for us. You don't have to do that. We just DoorDash or Grubhub. I said, I have no problem driving the 8 minutes it is round trip to where we're going to go pick this up for us.
Yeah, but I
mean, it's not like we don't live right in the middle of everything.
About a pizza joint that's not even close to us, but they were on DoorDash the other night, and I used it.
Yeah, it got my attention,
But I never
too.
even think twice about that. So what about a regular pizza delivery? Do you think
Yeah, you've been
something
doing that
could
for
be-
years.
I've never loved it. Never loved it. I mean, I will always open it up and I will look at the landscape
I mean, what are
and
you
see
looking
what
for?
happened.
Like a loogie?
Yeah,
You're not-
looking for
well, you're not
spit.
going to tell if somebody just licked it.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to know that.
Well, I mean, at that point, you've seen they're not as good at putting the piece back together as it was when it originally came
Are y'all
out.
interested me to go through what happened here?
Did he live?
So investigators allege that Robert Delahant, 59, showed up last Thursday morning at the Vancouver residence of Kiana Corncove, 19, to demand the tip. Delahant was, quote, loud and mouthy, according to
Mouthy.
Corncove. After Cornicove's father told Delahant to leave the family's property, the men got into an altercation, during which Delahant allegedly reached for a Ruger firearm.
Uh-oh.
Anthony Volino, 55, told cops he grabbed Delahant's gun, pushed the driver down onto the driveway. Okay, so
Is the driver the guy on his backside?
that's the way it sounds to this.
Blue shirt on the right is the driver, the one with the gun in his hand.
Oh, okay.
So the old guy ends up taking the gun away from the blue guy?
I don't think that's right. Anthony Volino, 55, told cops he grabbed Delahant's gun, pushed the driver down onto the driveway. So I think the driver is the dude with the glasses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that guy would want to come back
Yeah,
and try
after
to get his tip.
driving away from the residence in his Kia Soul, Delahant called police dispatch and advised, quote, the house cheated him out of his tip, so he returned and was pushed. Now, Delahant, who smelled of booze, admitted to drinking at his home before returning to the client's residence.
I mean, how much was that tip going to be? Was it even worth the trouble?
Not enough for a gun to get involved.
Do we have breaking news?
We do.
Uh-oh. That's all I got in trash.
All right, breaking news, Brownie.
The first college game day, which will be, and these are Breakline glasses, Breakline breaking news.
Great Father's Day present. TNR 25% off.
BreaklineOptics.com. TNR 25. The first college game day of the season, which will be Lee Corso's final show ever, will originate from Columbus, Ohio, Texas, Ohio State.
I thought it had already been announced.
Yeah,
Tallahassee.
I thought so too.
Nope. Brett McMurphy said, expect it to be Tallahassee.
Swing and a miss.
Well, Brett McMurphy was incorrect.
Yeah.
College game day announcing that they are going to Texas, Ohio State week 1.
Yeah, which made sense because that is the most put-on headgear in the history of college game day. Brutus, second only to Big Al, and the game not being on ABC, ESPN is why people believed maybe that it would be Tallahassee, where Alabama, the second most put-on headgear, and Lee Corso's school, Florida State. And it would be close to Lee's house. He wouldn't have to travel as much, but he'll go to Columbus one more time. That official from College Game Day today, week 1. 74 days from week 0, so that puts us 81 days from that first College Game Day, the last ride for Lee Corso there. That does it for our show today. This hour has been brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Penn and Grace later on at 12:15. We've got a meltdown later on at 2 o'clock today. And Champy's for lunch and dinner all the time. That chicken that's brined overnight, cooked to order, Mississippi Delta recipe, tamales, and so much more. Go by and see Sterling. And when you leave there, tell him, hey, Sterling, God bless you and God bless America. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Follow LT on Twitter @TheLanceTaylor. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Maybe the smartest NIL deal to date. We'll talk about that coming up. We get ready for Game 3, pivotal NBA Finals tonight. Some major college football recruiting news that's out there. And just how good is Hugh Freeze's roster now at Auburn? We'll get to all of that. And our 40 and 40 countdown moves into the top 20. But before we do any of that stuff, let us tell you about nextround.store, nextround.store, where the new merch continues to roll in. Lance, that includes hats you guys got this morning.
Can we unveil?
Yeah. I guess
Runaway's got lost in shipping, unfortunately.
So we did not get the creamsicle?
No, it didn't show, but I bet it's here tomorrow.
This is the performance hat, right? You guys are golfers. I'm not golfers, but it's the wicking
performance
material.
Rope hat. Yep.
It's got the rope hat. Rams colors, we'll just call them Summers colors.
Summer colors.
The same with the aquamarine.
Aqua and orange, summer colors. Probably creamsicle orange and what's another color, Jim? Give me a shade of red that goes with orange. Shooter, and then red and orange.
It's all part of the sunset.
Yeah, all part of the sunset. That'll be here tomorrow. But yeah, these are available at nextround.store, nextround.store.
Yeah, I mean, look, great Father's Day gifts, right? We've already got the shirts. They've been up for a couple of weeks now. Jump in there. Get Dad a lot of merch.
That's right. Good summer colors.
Yeah,
you're right.
Nextround.store to jump in with all of that. Before we do our 40 and 40, while we're talking about selling stuff, I don't know if you guys saw this last week. But I saw it last week, and I never got to it on my sheet. But I wanted to bring it up here today. Justice Haynes, remember the running back?
I do.
At Alabama. He has a new NIL deal with Loom Juice, Loom, Loom Juice. It's
Sydney Sweeney's bathwater.
I've never actually heard of Loom Juice.
It's
so I
new.
guess it's working.
It's new, but it's special ingredients, healthy, energy-like drink for people that, this is their advertising slogan, for people that care what's in their drink and what all's in there.
We don't have any of that stuff now.
Justice Haynes has got this NIL deal with them where not only is he getting a paycheck, he gets equity in the company. And the deal is being compared to what Kobe did with Body Armor back in the day, where you remember Kobe got a part of Body Armor that ended up paying Kobe a lot of money. So this is being called maybe the smartest NIL deal to date for a college athlete, that he's getting equity in this company that is expected to take off here.
See, these are guys that are surrounding themselves with the right guys that have big picture mentality. You know, one of the greatest rappers maybe was ripped from our clutches because he retired early, because he did a similar deal with Smart Water and 50 Cent. 50 Cent had a percentage of Smart Water and absolutely blew it out of the water. The Kobe Bryant thing, I mean, look, Kobe was obviously a visionary, but he fell into that. Like, I never thought it would blow up like it did.
When you say he fell into it, you mean like he didn't know what it would be?
No, I think he knew what, like, okay, let's take some points. Let's see if this works out. There is no way he thought that Body Armor was going to blow up like it did. It was just a roll of the dice.
Because it was initial $4 million for Kobe, I think.
I forgot what the numbers were, but I mean, he made
when
more
they sold it to Coca-Cola
Body Armor than he ever made on the court.
Yeah, when Coca-Cola bought Body Armor, God, I thought I remember it being like $250 million. I think it was a $4 million investment that turned into $250 million.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Because Justice Haynes, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. Probably one of these 3 or 4 year backs in the NFL. It's probably a guy that gets 10, 12 touches a game and probably makes $10 million, $15 million in his career.
His name will blow up this year because he's going to be the featured back for the Michigan Wolverines, who love to run the football, and he will not be sharing carries and not having a quarterback that runs the ball. I assume Bryce Underwood's not a Jalen Milroe type guy, so some of you are like, Justice Haynes, that name is familiar. Well, he was at Alabama last year. Now he's with the Michigan Wolverines. I just thought that was a neat deal. And maybe some of this stuff we'll see that'll be happening on the NIL front now, that some of these guys will take some equity up and coming, and it's a roll of the dice, but he's getting a paycheck too, so it's not like he's not getting some money right now from them, and he's getting a little big piece down the road where it may turn into a lot more money.
Well, that's, if I was advising him, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'd be like, you're in college. It's not like you're spending a lot of money right now anyway. Your ultimate goal is to get to the NFL. That's when you're going to be getting paychecks. Do 6, 8, 10 of these deals, and numbers-wise, just if one works out, then you've got mailbox money for the rest of your life.
I mean, he's got 3 meals in a cot already. With the school paying for his food and his housing.
No, he's going to go hungry for sure. It's one thing we talk. Everybody takes shots at Shaq. Shaq doesn't appear that he says no to anything to endorse, but he ends up owning parts of a lot of those companies. Like I think he's got a cut in Ring Doorbell. I think he's got a cut in the General. That's why you see him in those commercials.
Papa John's now.
Yeah, because he had a smart guy on the front end that told him, if we like the profile of these businesses, let's take a cut. And I'm with Lance. I think this shows you Justice Haynes probably has some smart people around him. It's a gamble. Investing in any business is a gamble.
Today is the day that all the new NIL deals have to go through the clearinghouse from this point forward. So you see a lot of last-minute deals. So that Justice Haynes one would stand up in court, in my opinion. He's the face of Loom Juice, whatever that turns out to be down the road, and a good one for Justice Haynes there. Before we get to our 40 and 40 team in this segment, I want to tell you about our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living, your ability to drop some weight right here in the summer of 2025. Just go to their website at planforme.com. Planforme.com, that's Way to Wellness, Leslie and her board-certified team. A great group of professionals there ready to help you every step of the process through your weight loss right there. It starts with a free consultation that you get with Leslie personally. She'll sit down with you and go over everything they offer, from injection therapies all the way to meal replacements and everything in between there. A whole host of things they can do to help you lose weight, and there's no contracts, no sign-up fees, and every plan is designed differently for every person. That's why the website is a planforme.com, a planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. And our 40 and 40 today, every day, one team until SEC Media Days, every show, brought to you by our friends at Champions Boxing.
Hey, a great place to get a different style of workout. If your kid's laying around on the couch, they don't have anything to do this summer, hey, get them to Champions Boxing. Give them a little discipline, a little focus. Any former athletes looking to try another sport to compete in after high school or college, Champions Boxing could be perfect for you. You see the videos over there, fantastic stuff. We were in there working out on Monday. For more information on Instagram, at Champions Boxing AL. Facebook at Champions Boxing AL. Coaches have experience, amateur, professional, Olympic levels, all ages starting at 9 years old. Boxing for fitness and competition, men and women. Team and family oriented, help in teaching discipline and fundamentals. Awesome stuff. Get in, see Jake, Akash, Mailman, all the fine folks there, and tell them the next round sent you.
We move into the top 20 today. Number 20 comes from the Big 12. It is Texas Tech. Guns up. Wreck 'em. The Red Raiders come in just after we did SMU and Rhett Lashley yesterday. Texas Tech in at number 28 of our voters had them not ranked. That included Lance Taylor, who had him outside his top 25. The highest ranking was number 8. That's our buddy Josh Sisk, who had him at number 8. But 1, 2, 3, 4 people had him winning 5 people had him winning the Big 12. That included me. And those 5 plus 6, 7 people had him making the playoffs. Taylor Corn had him at 14. Brown had him at 19. Forster had him at 22. Just outside of your top 25, what's missing in Texas Tech's arsenal for you?
The schedule and the defense. Defense was awful last year. Offense was great. They averaged 36.7 points per game, the 4th best scoring offense in college football. Can you guys give me one of the 3 in front of them?
Go ahead.
Scoring offense. I'm going to say that neither one of you guys can get this.
Okay, then no. If you don't think I can get up on
they're pretty big names.
Yeah.
No.
1 was a playoff team, 2 weren't. 1 SEC that was not a playoff team. Does that help?
No.
Miami, Indiana, Ole Miss. But Texas Tech's offense, really, really good last year. I don't think the offense is going to be as good. And you look at this, they're going to be favored in 8 or 9 games, but they got to go to Utah, Kansas, at Arizona State, at Kansas State, BYU. They got to go to West Virginia. They got really, really difficult schedule moving forward.
Brown, you talk about your air guy. What's his? How do you refer to him?
The petroleum guy, Double Eagle Petroleum?
Double Eagle.
Our Double Eagle guy?
Your Double Eagle guy.
Yeah.
Brandon
4.1 billion.
Brandon Marcello says your guy and the people he's put together will spend $55 million this year directly to Texas Tech athletes. Now, we know the one softball player made $1 million, right?
At least 54.
So you say, right? So you say to put the rest of that softball team together probably was $1 million.
Okay.
Just to, whatever.
Right.
Make
If
them
you're
all
going to spend
feel
$1 million
good.
on a pitcher, it'd be silly.
Didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
So
Well, they got there.
I know, I'm
They got
kidding.
some national publicity.
Yeah.
$53 million left.
Okay.
Basketball.
No, they spent on basketball.
Yeah.
They got some guys there on basketball. Let's say that's $10 million.
Yeah.
So
$10
we got
million.
$43 million for football.
I feel like the rest of that's going to football.
Well, Sports Illustrated about 5 weeks ago reported 6 schools are spending $40 million plus this year on football.
yeah.
And
I
you think
bet
this is
Texas
one of
Tech
them?
is one of them.
Texas Tech is one of them. It's regular players, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, which a lot of old school Notre Dame people would roll over in their grave
no
if they
doubt.
knew this.
Yeah,
Miami,
us old school folks who watch football knew Notre Dame was spending the money back in the day.
That's right.
Miami, and then Texas Tech. So if you think money can buy you happiness, $40 million might do it. I would just say this: I've got to see it to believe it. Do you think Texas Tech has won double digits since we've done a show together? Double-digit win season.
The Mike Leach season where Michael Crabtree caught and ran in the end zone was 2008. We were not together yet. I'm
right.
going to say that was their last double-digit win season.
I think that was the last double-digit
Yeah.
win season, too.
It was. They have never won a Big 12 championship. They haven't won an outright conference championship since 1955. Look, money does work. I think they're going to be super competitive. I think they're going to win a lot of games. But do I think that they're going to win the Big 12? No.
Who has them in the playoffs? I do. I have them as a Big 12 champion. I have them at 11. Aaron Newsom had them at 13, Big 12 champion. Josh Kaiser had them at 12, Big 12 champion. Josh Sisk had him at 8, Big 12 champion. Rusty Harris had him at 10, Big 12 champion. Jason Pierce had him making the playoffs, had him 10th, had another team higher from the Big 12. Walter Hayes had him 11th with another team higher from the Big 12. So a lot of expectations. Micah Harris, remember one of their big players, Lance, left after last season, went to Texas A&M, and then he came back to Texas Tech.
Yeah, money. I mean, you got to think he's part of the 43 million.
You know what's amazing is the 6 schools I mentioned, A&M wasn't one of them.
Yeah. But Micah Harris is the 5-star wide receiver who didn't really do anything last year. I mean, how many 5-star wide receivers do you have that doesn't really do anything? He didn't do much.
Well, the Barron Morton is a good quarterback. I don't know how much you guys got to watch him last year. Again, there's a reason they scored almost 40 points per game. I just think when you look at the Big 12, there's 9 teams that can realistically win this conference.
I agree, and this is one of them for sure.
Yeah.
They may not,
Yeah.
but they certainly can.
Yeah, and if you ask 9 different guys involved in college football, you might have 9 different answers.
9 different answers, but here's one answer from head coach Joey McGuire, Tyler cut number 1. He gets asked about embracing expectations. Now, we hear a lot of coaches attack this differently. They're spending money at Texas Tech. You don't want to come in here if you've got guys like the double rare eagle guy Brown talks about all the time that is getting people to donate millions of dollars to. You don't want to come in here and hem and haw about expectations, and Joey McGuire understands that.
Look, if somebody was going to criticize you, they're like, hey, Joey always gets us fired up at the beginning of the year, and we've had good years.
Yeah.
It's not like you've had a bad year.
Yeah.
But you and I were having this conversation a couple of days ago. We embrace this, right? We're going to be really good this year, and you embrace that.
Yeah, and my deal is like I don't believe in this coach talk. You've got a lot of coaches that will be like, oh shucks, we're going to be man. I think you're discounting your players and all the hard work they're putting in. I think you're trying to temper excitement, and what you're really trying to do if you're trying to temper excitement is you're trying to take less pressure off of you.
Right.
At the end of the day, I believe in what we do. I believe in our players.
I see. It's refreshing to hear a coach do this because I've always said you cannot talk about winning championships, but it's not going to. No fan's going to get to the end of the season. So you know what? I thought we were going to win a national championship, but we went 9-3. And as I think back on it, Coach never really said we were going to win a national championship in the preseason. So I guess I was wrong. No fan's going to think that. No booster's going to think that.
It is refreshing, but at the same time, when it is out there that you're spending $40 million on this roster,
you can't dodge it.
You cannot dodge it.
That's right. I mean,
by the way, the initial shot at him, it looked like the guy that is going to play blackjack before he has breakfast. He goes straight from the hotel room. Couldn't get enough last night. Just going to shower real quick.
Go double down. I mean, but yeah, you may as well not avoid the discussion because, like Lance said, when you spend that kind of money on a roster, that's going to be the expectation.
But last offseason, we'll go Hugh Freeze. He talked his team up a lot, and they ended up not hitting the expectations. It seems like Hugh is playing at more level this year. I understand $40 million, there's going to be expectations. There are expectations at all those schools you named that are paying a lot of money. How come we never question whether or not this guy is good enough to lead Texas Tech? Isn't this the guy that was the big Texas high school coach?
Yeah. He goes from high school to Baylor, was a positional coach, and then gets his opportunity at Texas Tech. I mean, for a minute, people thought Matt Wells was going to be the guy. I mean, Joey McGuire's done okay. I mean, 8-5, 7-6, 8-5. I mean, but to me, if they don't win the Big 12, this year's a failure.
Yeah, I'm with Lance. I mean, you just can't spend this kind of money and be in year 4?
Yeah, but if I'm going to spend that kind of money and it doesn't get done this year, do you
pull the chute?
Pay some money on a coach that maybe can get it done?
I mean, I would rather pay. Yeah, I mean, like a proven commodity is a great head coach. Now, whether or not a great head coach would take this job, I don't know anybody that would want to live in Lubbock. Complete shithole. But the fact of the matter is, they're spending more than 15 SEC schools this year on their football roster.
I mean, wouldn't you think you get a pretty good coach with that kind of NIL effort?
I would think.
I mean, I don't even know who I would put in the discussion because I don't know how many head coaches. Like,
okay, how about this? How about Rhett Lashley? Hey, look, SMU, you guys got deep pockets, but you ain't spending $40 million.
But
come across the state.
I mean, if he
would never leave SMU for Texas Tech.
Well, I mean, how many people would leave good jobs for Texas Tech? We never would have said it until they're one of 6 spending $40 million on a roster.
I know, but I would imagine a guy like Lashley, if he has that success again this year, could probably shake the trees and get the $40 million from SMU boosters if that's what kept them there.
Yeah.
Now, if they can spend $40 million on a roster, do you not think they can spend $15 million on a coach?
Oh, they can spend whatever they want on a coach. I think Rhett Lashley's furthest job in the West is right now in Dallas. He never goes any further west than Dallas. Is Lubbock west of Dallas?
Oh, Lubbock is west of Dallas.
I'm just throwing a name out there. I mean, if really money matters, I mean, do you not think that would catch the attention of a wife? Hey, you're making $6 million in Dallas, but you can make 15 in Lubbock. I can find boutiques there. We can open our own.
We'll open our own.
All right, more to get to on the Texas Tech and that after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. One of them, Brownie, is our friends at Breakline Optics. Tell us about those sunglasses you're about to throw on again for us.
Oh,
here.
You want me to put them on? You want me to model?
Why not, man?
Not breaking news.
Everybody
settle down.
Break lines on this morning.
Yeah, everybody settle down. It's not breaking news. I'm just modeling this time. Breakline Optics, great Father's Day gift idea. If you want to see them in person, like touch them and feel them, Deep South Outfitters is where you can go, but you can see everything online. BreaklineOptics.com. That is BreaklineOptics.com. Don't forget code TNR25. Code TNR25 to save 25% off. These are shades that are designed with Southern grit and a touch of refined style, just like Dad himself. Now, they do have women's glasses as well, but Father's Day is coming up Sunday. This is a great idea. Every time Dad slides these on, he'll think of you. And like, man, what a great gift. Sunglasses are something you're going to use just about every day of your life. So Breakline Optics, where Southern spirit meets modern performance, says give Dad the gift that he could use every single day. Literally, the gift that keeps on giving. Zero eye fatigue. They're good for all-day wear. They're scratch-resistant. They are indestructible, the frame is. Lifetime warranty against manufacturer defects, I should say. You can see more, BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com, code TNR25 to save 25% on your Father's Day order there at BreaklineOptics.com.
Great Father's Day gift. Put those on breaking news.
Oh, we got breaking news?
No Will Haver tonight, Odie's Team Trivia.
Oh, it is breaking news.
Abby Joe will be out there with me
How
and
are we
you.
going to survive?
Yeah, but come out, join us, Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night. The original location in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Fantastic food at both. Award-winning wings, great burgers, fantastic sandwiches, like that Diablo sandwich. Eat it with a fork and knife. Ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. And, of course, the Odie's famous cup cocktails. Get into one of those two locations, but join us tonight, 8 o'clock, original location in Crestline. Odie's Team Trivia, Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
One slight breaking news. It's not huge, but June 15th was supposed to be the deadline for Division I schools to opt into the House settlement for this upcoming year. It's been moved back to June 30th. So just really a housekeeping of 2 weeks to give you an opportunity to opt in or not. All the SEC schools will opt in, already have. Big Ten schools, blah, blah, blah. This will be a lot of G5s that are deciding right now whether to opt in on the revenue sharing to pay their athletes and how much they'll be paying and all that. June 30th is the decision date now for those schools. Back to our topic off of Texas Tech, 20th in our 40 and 40 countdown. My question now is about the Big 12. And think about the Associated Press rankings that we get every week during preseason and during the college football season. Will there ever be a Big 12 team ranked number 1 in the AP poll ever again? Now, think about it before you answer, though, because in the past it was easy, yes.
Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, that's in the past. You would say, all right, you got Texas, Oklahoma, one of those could get in.
Yeah, I think
But
one will
there
sneak.
ever be number 1 again?
And here's the reason I think this. As we grow the Big Ten and the SEC, we've already talked about there's not going to be any undefeated national champions moving forward, right? We saw South Florida get up to number 2 way back when in 2007. I think what happens, teams cannibalizing each other up top. You get into week 7 or 8 of the season, somebody like a BYU or an Arizona State or a Kansas State opens 8-0. I could see them maybe get a top 10 ranking. Like if Texas Tech opened 8-0 this year, there's a chance.
So, and a lot of people would say, I don't like that about college football. I would like it to be more spread out. But I would then ask you, okay, take Texas and Oklahoma off the board because they're now in the SEC. Of the remaining Big 12 schools, which was the last one to be number 1? Was it Baylor? Did Baylor reach number 1? Baylor
or TCU possibly.
That was
close.
2014.
Yeah. I don't know if they reached number 1 or not, but they were close.
They were close.
I know Utah and Kansas State have both been in the top 5.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, UCF was in the top 5.
Kansas was number 1 at one point, were they not? Did they ever reach number 1 that year?
2006.
Yeah, but you see the exercise I'm doing here. We had to go back a decade just to think of the last non-Texas Oklahoma Big 12
Oklahoma State
number
has
1.
been in the top 5.
They've been up there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got to go a long way back.
But how about this? A Big 12 will never win a national championship, ever. Wow. Ever.
So why should they be number 1 then?
Well, because I'm talking about, once they get to the playoffs, they've got to win meaningful games. I could see one Big 12 team, and maybe it's ultimately Texas Tech spending this money in back-to-back years where they open 8 or 9-0, and you've got, a bunch of 1-2 loss teams right behind them.
Yeah, I would tell you, yes, it could happen, the reason you lay out there. But should it happen? Are we not factoring in degree of difficulty now of the schedule at that point? Because, look, Texas and Ohio State play each other. One of them is going to lose a game.
Uh-huh.
But are you telling me at that point one loss Texas or Ohio State should be behind an unbeaten Big 12 team? I would say no. But if I was voting, I would say I'm not looking at the 0 all the time in the loss column. I'm looking at who the 1L was to and who your wins have been against. Is that not the way you would vote if you were an AP voter?
That's the way I did vote, yeah.
Absolutely.
I would just say it would require a Big 12 team to have a really good pre-conference and win them all, and then probably some carnage in front of them where you just got one of those years where your good SEC teams both get early losses, maybe one of them takes 2 losses, your Big 10 teams do the same. For them to ever reach number 1 again, I just don't know, if you had to do the betting odds, who would you say, all right, if a Big 12 team ever reaches number 1 again, I would make this team the favorite. They would be the minus 120 favorite to reach number 1 if a Big 12 team did it.
Okay, here's where it's difficult. Like if BYU was spending $40 million, if TCU was spending $40 million, if Houston, which is surprising they're not with the money they've got behind them, or Utah, like a Brand or an Oklahoma State, if T. Boone Pickens was still alive, I really don't know who that team is.
I don't either. That's why I don't know who Dunaway, would you have a favorite? Like if I made you pick a favorite, say, okay, this is the next Big 12 team to be ranked number one. My minus 125 favorite is?
Probably with their street cred, with what they've done, and the fact that they don't schedule well enough out of conference. Really, I don't think anybody in that league does. But I would probably say it would be Kansas State.
Be hard to see them.
Well, if you told me Utah, if Kyle Whittingham was going to be around for 10 years, might go Utah. Kansas State's not bad.
Yeah.
Again, these are just
what they've done in the past. I just think Kansas State has enough street cred that if they did schedule a good out of conference game, won that game, and then was hanging around after a lot of carnage at 8-0, I could see Kansas State sliding in there. I think there's some respect for what they've done the last 2 decades.
Their future out of conferences are North Dakota, Army, Arizona, South Dakota, Georgia Southern, shout out EG, NC State, Washington State, Oregon State. They play a lot of states and not a lot of good states.
Yeah, that's my point.
That's your problem.
And that's pretty much been the way it's been for Kansas State for a while. All right, one more thing to get to in our opening segment here, which is brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks. LT, tell us about Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, great place to watch Game 3 of the NBA Finals. I don't know if we've told you this. Game 3 winners tied 1-1 apiece in a 7-game series, go on to win the series 80% of the time. So pivotal game tonight. Started off with happy hour at Twin Peaks. No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from tequila cocktails, an extensive bourbon category, to top shelf spirits, cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about the 29-degree draft served right there in 3D. Get into Twin Peaks. Game 3 NBA Finals tonight.
7:30 on ABC for that game. Interesting. SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, did I say it right? The middle name? I never get the middle name right.
Gilgeous, but yeah.
Gilgeous, okay. Yep. 72 points in his first 2 games in the finals here. That is the most in the first 2 career starts in the finals of any player in NBA history. And he joins only Michael Jordan to have 3,000 points, 600 assists, 150 steals, and 80 blocks in an NBA season.
Like, he was really, really, really good last year, the last couple of years. But his explosion this year, winning an MVP, and then how easy he's making the postseason look is pretty incredible. His total tonight, point total's 34.5.
In an NBA Finals game.
Which is crazy. They're 5.5-point favorites on the road. I would think that Rick Carlisle is going to do everything in his power to cut the head off the snake. I don't know if it matters because he's got such a good supporting cast. The Pacers have been able to do nothing in the paint. And we've had 96 minutes of action in these first 2 games. How much do you think the Indiana Pacers have led of 96 minutes?
That last second shot, right?
Yeah.
Well, 1 minute and 56 seconds.
Yeah.
Minute and 56 of 96 minutes in 2 games. But you know what? It's 1-1. And if you're a Pacers fan, you're hosting your first finals game in 25 years in Indianapolis. So they believe. Halliburton is one of these players. Obviously, he's been clutch, cold-blooded. But they're going to have to put on a really good defensive effort tonight. And SGA is going to have to cool off a little bit if they are going to have a shot to steal Game 3.
All right, so that's basketball happening tonight as the NBA Finals always get you into June. Don't forget, as LT and Brownie told you earlier, nextround.store for your Father's Day gifts coming up for the weekend. Well, when we come back, we'll do our Bojangles Tender Moment of the Day, and we will talk a little NFL football on the other side, and still to come, the field of 68 guys. If you had the Auburn roster and the Alabama roster, which one would you choose in basketball for the upcoming season? All that straight ahead right here on the Next Round, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
There's no off-season at covercrimson.com. Sign up now and get daily shows plus behind-the-scenes intel that will keep your Alabama fandom rolling all the way up until kickoff. Follow Cover Crimson on all social platforms and sign up today at covercrimson.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rowback. Go to rowback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Our Bojangles tender moment of the day, Brownie, set us up.
It is brought to you by Bojangles. From sweet to heat, they got a dipping sauce for everyone. You know what goes great with those sauces, by the way? Those Bojangles hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. If you want some tang, try barbecue. If you want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. And if you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce are ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
Our tender moment takes us to the romantic one. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, the land of love. He shows up at mandatory minicamp. You see him in the old black and gold of Pittsburgh. And he lets everybody know he's been married now 2 months.
It's hard to believe he got married and it has been that. Have you seen? Have you seen seriously any reports about it at all?
Yeah, well, there had been rumors at some point he had gotten married. Somebody had seen the ring at some photo thing. But here's the tender moment of the day. The story I read, Brownie. Maybe you've got more details. Married apparently for 2 months. Bride unknown.
He likes himself. He probably married himself.
He married himself. Well, I think we had somebody do that in a trash
This is
store
the first I heard this morning, but there were people the reports were a little skeptical about asking him about it because it's such a personal question. I don't think it's like going up to a woman and saying, how many months pregnant are you?
That's a roll of the dice.
When are you expecting?
Yeah.
I mean, if a guy's got a wedding ring on and you didn't know he was married,
you're married?
If I showed up with a wedding ring tomorrow, would you guys not say something?
I would.
Yeah.
It'd probably take me a minute to notice.
Would you say, hey, who are you married? That obviously has come out. So do you follow up? Who did you marry?
Well, I would hope that his circle of friends, whatever that looks like, they would know who he married. Right?
I mean, it's pretty wild that a guy as
high
profile as Aaron Rodgers can get married, and in this day and age, nobody can figure out who the wife is.
It's almost impossible because
it really is.
The high profile relationships from Danica Patrick to the Shailene Woodley girl.
I was going to say when he was jumping off cliffs in Hawaii into beautiful blue water pools with Woodley, we as a show, not individually, criticized him for off having fun and frolicking with a young woman in a bikini all summer long and not thinking about football. So you guys in the media are a big needle to thread sometimes. I'm keeping it private now. I'm just focused on football. If I'm out there frolicking with my new bride, you guys are going to criticize me that I'm not thinking about football. You guys are a fickle bunch.
Yeah, I think that's a little different. I mean, if the guy's getting married in the offseason, I don't think it's a big deal. It's just amazing that it was able to be hidden.
And there's so many eyes on him because of the nature of this offseason with him, right? That he was this guy that doesn't have a team yet. Pittsburgh's waiting on him. What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? And somehow he gets married without anybody, at least in the media, knowing about it. Or just leaking out like somebody at the wedding. Like, Dunaway, you were out when Pablo Torre revealed how the Bill Belichick
ring doorbell
footage came out. I don't know if you've seen it, but he said the people that own the Airbnb, he tracked them down. They were big Patriots fans. They had it, and they were like, this looks like Bill Belichick. So they share it with, two friends. And, can y'all tell me if this is Bill Belichick? And they get confirmed it's Bill Belichick. Well, you know how that goes, right?
Two friends share it with 7 friends.
That's right. And they
20.
And they tell all 7 friends, hey, nobody can text it. Okay, no, I'm definitely not going to send it. And then they send it to somebody and tell them not to send it. Sooner or later, it's all over Boston. Well, you would think that would happen with somebody that's at this wedding. They tell one person, hey, you know where I was this weekend? Where Aaron Rodgers' wedding. You will never believe. He got married?
Yeah.
Who'd he marry? Well, I don't really know her. Some girl from Topeka, worked at a Waffle House. I mean, you could track her down if you had just a couple bits of information.
But I mean, the more amazing thing is, we've been wondering, where is Aaron Rodgers? Is this deal ever going to get done with the Steelers?
Yeah.
And you would
people
think
are watching him.
That would put more of an emphasis on where his moves. Back in the day, Pedro Gomez would have been on the beat, right?
He would have been chasing him down.
He is at mandatory camp, though, more with Aaron Rodgers in the NFL after LT tells us about Dr. B.
Dr. B, best in the business. If you're starting to lose a little hair out there, if you want to be preemptive about this, you want to make sure you maintain, you want to grow some back. Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. Hair has more than doubled in thickness. And how about this? T3, they've got a new test. It's easy. It's painless. affordable. It takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. They will custom compound these agents for you in pill or topical forms. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims other products online don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and the great staff. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
Are you tired of the outdated, not so functional room in your house? We were. Ryan Brown here. My wife and I, Jennifer, decided we wanted to redo our master bath, and Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell was the guy that kept coming back, so that's who we hired, and I am so glad we did. His crews did tremendous work. They were on time. They were clean. They were courteous at the end of each day. They walked us through what they had done that day to make sure it met our expectations. It did every single day. What Brad specializes in is master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's his specialty. It's not to say it's all he does, but the reason I point this out is you spend a lot of time in those rooms when you own the home, and when it comes time to sell the home, those rooms really, really pop with buyers. You can see more, alabamabathremodels.com. That's alabamabathremodels.com. Or call Brad, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758, or alabamabathremodels.com.
Here's Aaron Rodgers on what made the Steelers the right fit for him.
I think it starts with Mike Tomlin. I mean, I've been a fan of his for a long time. There's a few iconic franchises in the NFL. I played for one of them for 18 years. This is another one of those. There's something special about, obviously, this area. So many great quarterbacks are from Pittsburgh. I feel like Pittsburgh has been a part of my career from the beginning, playing for Mike McCarthy for 13 years, having Tom Clements or Tommy Clements, depending on how old you are, as my quarterback coach forever, Don Capers, Kevin Green, Darren Perry, Ben McAdoo, Frank Signetti, Luke Getsy. I don't want to forget anybody, but a lot of Yinzers in my life.
What is going on? He sounds completely
He
different.
really
He's got a
does.
new accent.
Yeah, it's like he's changed his accent.
He's been body
hasn't he?
snatched.
He's gotten married. He's changed his accent.
He's got a new accent. What is going on?
I've never heard him talk
Again,
like that.
it sounded different to me, but I thought it had to do with just the recording and maybe the speed it was playing back. But play it again for us. Or you ever thought, Tyler?
Do you think he's been cloned? Some people think famous people get cloned all the time.
DeMar Hamlin, remember after he had that situation with the Bills where he almost died, people were like, we got to fake DeMar Hamlin out here. Is this fake Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Hit it again. Let's hear it.
I think it starts with Mike Tomlin.
Mike
I've
Tomlin.
been a fan of his for a long time.
He is.
There's a few iconic franchises in the NFL. I played for one of them for 18 years. This is another one of those. There's something special about, obviously, this area. So many great quarterbacks are from Pittsburgh. I feel like Pittsburgh has been a part of my career from the beginning, playing for Mike McCarthy for 13 years, having Tom Clements or Tommy Clements, depending on how old you are, as my quarterback coach forever, Don Capers, Kevin Green, Darren Perry, Ben McAdoo, Frank Signetti, Luke Getsy.
I think he may have a lipper.
I don't want to forget anybody, but
I don't know how much that would affect it because that's almost like
no, it's the other side. I think
North
Tyler.
Californian Irish accent.
Yeah, it is a little Irish in there. Yeah, I think he's got a lipper in on that other side, Tyler.
And maybe it's not tobacco. Maybe it's a
pouch.
Yeah, or maybe it's
Zen.
a Jolly Rancher for all
Could
I know.
Could be a Jolly Rancher.
Having a piece of something in your mouth can do it a little bit, but I thought it sounded different. Also in the NFL camps, Michael Parsons is there working out. He's hoping to get a new deal with the Cowboys. He and Jerry Jones had a talk yesterday. Bengals camp, Trey Hendrickson not there. That was your big thing to focus on yesterday, LT. But just you think to yourself, well, the Hendrickson deal is not going to get done because they drafted Shunnarah Stewart to sort of replace him on the defensive line.
Some of the best comments I've ever seen.
Well, hold it. The Bengals, by the way, they're not right now. They're at a contract dispute with Shunnarah Stewart over guaranteed money. If you think the Bengals are cheap, they can't even sign their first-round draft pick to replace their big guy who they're not going to sign.
By the way, is slotted for a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
they're not having to negotiate a bigger amount of money.
It's guaranteed money.
Yeah.
They're being they're holding back here, and Shunnarah Stewart's camp saying this is the Bengals are the Bengals for a reason, basically.
Did you hear what Shunnarah Stewart said?
No, what did he say?
So this is a rookie that is yet to sign a deal. He was asked about the organization over the deal, and the quote was, "Y'all just want to win arguments more than winning games," talking about the front office. How many times have you seen a rookie that has taken a shot at the front office like this?
This is like what a 10-year veteran would do, who's on path for a Hall of Fame career.
Boy, being a Bengals fan would absolutely suck. I'll tell you what Joe Burrow needs to do. After this year, he needs to pack it up and go West Coast.
LA. I knew you were going to say that, but
he needs to do this at his press conference.
I'm going to the Rams.
I feel great about not only working with the best coach in the history of the NFL, but a first-class organization.
I mean, I know it's kind of hard to say this because they've been in position to do it several times, win the Super Bowl. I mean, but a franchise that operates this way, can you see them winning a Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow does negate a lot.
He does.
He almost won it for him in Super Bowl 56.
That's what I'm saying. They've been in several, and by my memory, they haven't really been blown out, have they? I mean,
Rams came down. I mean, I thought for sure the Bengals were going to win that game.
Yeah, and San Francisco had to drive at the end. It's one of the most famous plays in our series in football, the drive to beat them.
I think Montana's first Super Bowl, they beat them pretty good in the Silverdome.
Yeah, the first time they met up. Yeah, the second time they met up was in Miami, and that was the drive. So I don't know, man. It's just when you're that cheap as a franchise, it's just hard to believe.
They're going to end up wasting Joe Burrow's
They really
career,
are.
though.
They really are.
Before we get to our viewing menu today, one more baseball note, a pretty crazy stat about Paul Skeens after LT tells us about gutter cap.
205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. Call our man, Chris Stewart. He will come out, give you that free estimate. You never want to get on the roof. It's a dirty, dangerous job. You slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. 205-823-2212. Make sure you tell C. Stu and all the fine folks there at Gutter Cap the next round sent you. Unbelievable deal for you. For more information, guttercapbirmingham.com.
Braves Brewers today, 110 getaway game in Milwaukee. Brewers got the Braves last night, so Atlanta's lost 8 of 9, but they try to win the series today, which would be a step forward. And then there's Paul Skeens. 63 Major League Baseball players in the history of the game have had under a 2 ERA with 90-plus strikeouts through 14 starts. 63 players in the history of Major League Baseball under a 2 ERA, 90-plus strikeouts through 14 starts to start a season. Paul Skeens is now one of those guys. How many of the 63 do you think had a losing record?
Because they pitched so long ago, is what you're suggesting here?
No, or they had what we call run support, which Paul Skeens doesn't have.
63 Major League Baseballers in the history.
I think 3 had losing records.
If you bring it up, he's probably the only one.
It is Paul Skeens. He's the only one through 14 starts with an under 2 ERA, 90 strikeouts through his first 14 starts. He's one of only 63 players to do that. And he's the only one in Major League Baseball history with a losing record.
Dude, he's got a 1.88 ERA right now, and it doesn't factor because that lineup is so awful. So much like the advice I give Joe Burrow, go west, young man. Dodgers.
Paul Skeens is right now a favorite to win the Cy Young.
With a losing record.
He'd be only the second player ever to win the Cy Young with a losing record, and the only other person to do that was Eric Gagne, who did it with a 2-3 55 save record. He was 2-3 in tied games.
Sure.
As a closer, came in there, was 2-3, so he had a losing record technically, but he wasn't the starter. I mean, Skeens is about to be in a rare situation as a Cy Young winner with a losing record.
Can you imagine like 8-14 and he's hoisting the Cy Young?
It would be weird. I mean, it's like...
but you know, voters like to vote for weird stuff.
Yeah,
so if Skeens is right there, if he continues to pitch like this, probably a no-brainer. But don't you think there's some writers out there that are like, be kind of cool to give it to a guy that's got a sub-500 record?
I mean, Cy Young's got to go to the best pitcher, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. And
in the National League, he's that
the
guy
best
right
pitcher.
now.
I mean, you look at his ERA.
Chris Sale's pretty good. He's not Skeens, but I mean, Sale, you're reigning Cy Young winner.
But I mean,
imagine not getting run support sometimes.
Imagine how hard it is to have that ERA when every pitch is so critical because nobody's scoring runs for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like there's not a pitch. I mean, how many pitches does Skeens get to throw where it's like, if this is a home run, it's not that big a deal. If it's a home run, it probably costs him the game.
But how important is Skeens? You know, people talk about WAR and you know all of these numbers, but is he not? If you are in the postseason, he's almost a give me in a 5 or 7 game series.
That's a win.
Yeah,
right?
like you a frontline starter, you put him out there on the mound in October, he's going to win you a game.
His career WAR. Now I don't know what a good WAR number is, and for those that don't know what WAR it's
wins
above replacement. So
yeah. 1 was a good one, 2 was a better one.
I'm glad we've not had 3 yet.
Yes.
His career WAR is 9.4. It sounds like a lot. 9.4.
That does sound like.
I mean, it sounds like a lot. I mean, I'm going to assume, especially with him, I'll just Google what is a good WAR, and WAR of 1812 wasn't bad. I mean, but 9.4 is his wins above replacement, and I mean, it's just he's got nothing to. Unfortunately for him, nothing to show for it except being on a crappy team.
I mean, there's no chance that he is in Pittsburgh next year, is there?
Is it next year? Is he a free agent next
contract
year?
Up?
Well, I think next year is his last year of the contract.
Yeah. Whenever his contract's up, I could see him bouncing for sure.
A player with a 4 to 5 WAR represents an all-star player. A player with a 2 to 3 WAR is considered a solid regular. A 4 to 5, a all-star. A 5+, a superstar. He's at 9.
Yeah. Wow. Aaron Judge is pretty high, too. He had another home run almost out of Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City last night. Yankees could get better soon. Giancarlo and Stanton starting his rehab. Ohtani and Snell both did BP sessions for the Dodgers yesterday. Dodgers can get better down the stretch as that pitching staff gets healthy. Baseball starts today with a great series continuing. Cubs and Phillies, 12:05 in Philly. On the MLB Network, Cubs are having a magical start to the season. The Phillies are dang good. A little baseball for you there that gets us to the Michelson Laser Vision viewing menu of the day. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100, the number that I called back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call I made. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
We got a new Netflix documentary releasing tonight called Titan, the Ocean Gate Disaster. This is about that tourist submarine that went down to look for the Titanic and did not come back. And it's going to detail how this really ambitious goal ended up being so tragic.
Yeah, I don't know how much video of it they'll show, but they have video of the dude's wife monitoring it when the submarine implodes. And she hears it implode. I don't know that I don't think she immediately knows what she's heard because I think she says, "What was that?"
That was, so I did take a look at this. It's like an hour and a half. I don't know if you guys saw was it the Challenger? They did the documentary on that and showing all the family that was in the stands watching the launch.
I remember watching live, man.
But remember, the families couldn't really process it, much like what you're saying right now.
Yeah, they were doing like I can always remember, was it Krista McAuliffe was the name of the teacher that was in there, right? And like her dad, I can always remember, he's like squinting and trying to look up like, what am I seeing? It's very, very sad, yeah.
And then if you're not wanting a sad documentary like that tonight, we've got a new game show on Fox at 8 p.m. called The Snake. Masters of manipulation with unique skill sets compete in an outrageous array of challenges and twists in hopes of becoming that week's snake, the most powerful position in the game and ultimate decider of who stays and who goes.
Oh, that sounds fun. I like that. I don't know what a network game show if it would be fun now, but that sounds like a fun concept. We play Snake on the golf course.
I was going to ask you guys, because I remember playing Snake years ago on the golf course. What is it exactly?
The way we play it is if I 3-putt on number 2, then I'm the snake, and I've now got to pay a certain amount, whatever you've decided that to be, to the group. And then if Brown 3-putts on 4, he's now the snake, and that pot has doubled, and he's got to pay it to the group. And you go all the way through the last person to 3-putt, and then if someone 3-putts on 18, then I end up as the snake, and I have got to pay everybody whatever that pot has doubled up to.
So get your 3-putt out of the way early is basically.
Or don't 3-putt.
So I'm going to assume, going back to the conversation we had yesterday about in the leather, there's no in the leather.
Yeah,
when it
you
comes
don't give
to
anything
snake.
in snake.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's got to be a kick in.
We don't play for a lot. They have told me stories on the golf course that you can, if you're playing a high dollar game, it could get up there to where people are intentionally missing the green in your group on 17 and 18 to get it close to where they're going to do a chip.
So they don't have
trying to hit a green to where
This
they don't
is
have a
where
long
I would
putt.
use my one toss.
That's
Brad.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one way.
I don't like any game that rewards. Like I used to play with guys that would get points for trash. They would aim for bunkers to try to get up and down and get
I
trash
got accused
points.
of that yesterday. We were playing one game that involved trash, and
I hate that. That's
I
not
had
golf.
the best drive and hit a approach shot. The pin was really close to the trap, and I didn't intentionally do it. I was going for a birdie, but it drifted into the trap, and I hit a great gimme par.
Got trash points?
And got trash points. And they were like, I think it's unsportsmanlike for you to hit it intentionally into the trap.
Wait, is that not giving you a little too much credit?
Yeah, exactly.
It was a joke because sometimes my trap shot goes 60 yards on the other side of the green because I blade it coming out of there.
And then finally tonight at 5:35 on BET, you can watch one of the best comedy movies ever made, Friday, with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker and John Witherspoon.
I thought it was good. I never thought it was great.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the minority. People
disagrees.
love it.
I've never seen it.
And that's all I got.
I know Brown's not seen it.
No, I've
right?
never seen Friday, no.
Yeah. All right, so that's Michelson's viewing menu tonight. I watch a lot of bad stuff. I got caught into watching, I'm sure all the ladies watching have paid attention and watched this. Siren is out there now. I never remember the actress that is the lead in that.
Julianne Moore.
She is the younger lead or the middle-aged lead, because the younger lead was the
It's the one with Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, who's my favorite character so far, with one episode to go in this short season one.
Is it something about a cult?
That's what they keep getting accused of, but we haven't. I expect this to be the big unveil here in this final episode. It has been not great, but I do like Kevin Bacon.
Just pushing through.
You got to see the end.
I think it's
now.
only like 6 episodes.
Hey,
so yeah.
Hey, before I forget, what do you guys? And this is just back to our first segment because you brought up Justice Haynes. What do you think a bottle of Lume is?
Oh, give me what Lume is.
It's basically body armor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a sports drink.
It's a sports drink that has stuff in it that if you're drinking or eating clean.
Yeah.
According to this is their release now. I don't think any.
You're going heavy air quotes here.
Yeah, because I'm. This is what they say.
All right.
If you care about what's in your sports drink, then this is the drink for you. Blah blah blah.
Well,
blah.
they're sold out of their Moon Punch.
Yeah.
But a 12-ounce bottle, according to this, is $30 a bottle.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, because it doesn't, like, if you put it in the cart, it's just one bottle. It doesn't say 4-pack, 6-pack.
This beautiful bottle of Dasani, Jim, is 20 ounces. You're drinking one of our Coke products, Powerade Zero. How many ounces is that?
Okay, let me back it up. Never mind.
That's 12 bottles. I thought there's no way that's $30.
I didn't either, but it only showed the one. It is, once you click on it, is 12.
Bourbon cheaper than that.
I know, I was about to say hell.
But see, I do care about what I put in my body, and I go with the Powerade Zero, and I get 50% more electrolytes in this bottle here.
That grape one's their best flavor, too. That's the one I drink on the golf course. Okay, so there's Lume. It's a good-looking package. Yeah. They packaged it well.
It is biodegradable packaging, recycled package. No, it really is.
Okay.
It's care about what you put in your body and what you put back into the earth.
What is Beyond Apple?
I don't know.
It's Apple.
I'm asking you the question.
It's Apple, but a little bit more.
Where are you guys on apple juice?
I like apple juice. Don't drink it much, but I like it.
I don't like it.
Jack Taylor told me it's his favorite juice. I'm indifferent. Like, I think it's okay.
I like apple juice fine.
Orange juice is the best
I like
juice,
grape
right?
juice better than any.
And you don't like wine?
I do like a grape juice.
I know. Not fermented.
I got into a bad situation on the golf course Friday. Not in a bad situation, but play was slow where we were playing.
That is a bad situation.
And so I don't usually drink on the golf course anymore. I don't drink a lot anymore. But I was like, God, this is so slow. I'm going to have a transfusion. And the girl was like, I don't have any ginger ale or Sprite.
Well, you can't make one then.
Sweet Cheeks, take it to the clubhouse.
And I said, I tell you, do you have grape juice? And she was like, yeah. And I said, just give me grape juice and vodka.
Whoa.
And
you left out an important ingredient.
You'll taste that vodka.
Yeah.
So then she went.
You should go half and half.
Then she went, well, have you ever had, and she came up with some fancy name, and it was Powerade, lemonade, and vodka.
A zipper?
It was something.
Zipper's lemonade, vodka, and maybe Sprite.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but she had a name for it. And, we'll say Burning Bush or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, sure. I'll try that.
I'll try the Burning Bush.
Basically, it tasted like
Powerade
with a double shot of vodka. And by the way, with the electrolytes, gets into your blood system a lot faster.
Well, that's what we used to call it.
It's a carriage.
I don't think we made this up, but rocket fuel, when you would do the old Powerade and vodka together.
Yeah, we would do the Powerade green and vodka and called it some kind of gator or something. I forgot what we called it. Yeah. But apparently the electrolytes got into your system. Faster.
If you do it with a syringe into your vein, it really gets there.
Yeah. All right. That gets us to the top of the hour, the Michelson viewing menu there. When we come back, we do more college football for you. Our 4 downs still to come. And then later, the basketball conversation that was had on the field of 68. Which roster would you want, Auburn's or Alabama for the upcoming basketball season? All that straight ahead right here on the show that's being brought to you from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studio. Don't forget, a lot of fun every day at the Birmingham Racecourse and Casino, but an upcoming football season in just 73 days. You get to go out there and have a lot of fun on football Saturdays and Sundays. Put that on your calendar for the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time. So try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, this hour of the show starts us off by LT and Brownie telling you more about nextround.store, nextround.store for Father's Day coming up here in a moment.
New gear, summer gear. We showed you the shirts a couple of weeks ago. We got a couple of hats out there, aquamarine and the orange. The blaze yellow that Forrester absolutely loves back there. He was raving about it. The little hint of blue. Great summer colors for Dad. He's going to love them. And the T-shirts. We don't have the creamsicle hat yet. We do have the creamsicle T-shirts. You've been wearing yours, Dunaway?
Have not yet. Hadn't had a chance to throw it on yet. Have y'all been wearing yours?
I have.
Yeah. I mean, you've had 3 weeks.
Have I had 3 weeks?
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to throw it on there, though. But you can get your Father's Day gear right now at nextround.store, nextround.store, and the hats look really cool there and all the other great gear that's been there for a while. Pick out your favorites and keep sending those pics in. We show you those all the time in our commercial breaks, just really great gear. Pick them up right now, nextround.store, nextround.store. There's Forrester and his cool T-shirt there. Forrester, you wore that at softball this past weekend? Did you get it out this weekend?
I did, actually. I wore that one on Saturday.
Yeah, I thought I saw it bouncing around on the Forrester feed there. Good-looking stuff there, nextround.store. This hour of the show also being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles.
Bow time at Bojangles. You love those dipping sauces from sweet to heat. They've got one that works for you. At Bojangles, you know what goes great with a great dipping sauce? Hand-breaded tender from Bojangles. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang, try barbecue. If you want some heat, creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic bow sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Easy on this show sometimes to stack up the record that Hugh Freeze has had at Auburn and say he should have done more already. He's been building for year 3. If I said to you Auburn has 3 first-round draft picks on this roster this year, 3 NFL first-round draft picks on this roster this year for the next draft.
Well,
for the next draft.
Oh, for the next draft.
Yeah, I knew, well,
for this upcoming draft.
Yeah, I knew they had one in Keldrick Falk. He is going to be a first-round draft pick unless something terrible happens. He has just an awful year or an injury. Let's hope none of those things happen because Keldrick Falk's a really good player. And we've already talked about this, that he will be Auburn's first-round draft pick in quite a while. It's been a minute since Auburn's had a first-round draft pick. So I think Keldrick Falk gets Auburn back into the first round.
Eric Singleton is getting some play as a guy who could play his way into the first round.
I didn't know he was thought of that way. I've always liked Eric Singleton.
Yeah, I wouldn't see. I mean, to me, he's a poor man's Luther Burden.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Luther Burden at his best.
Right.
But, I mean, Singleton is one of those guys. I mean, I think Cam Coleman is a for sure first-round guy, especially now that you've paired him with a quarterback. Don't be surprised. Not this year, but in 2 years, Jackson Arnold.
Yeah. Xavier Chaplin, though, the portal guy they brought in at left tackle, is the guy who's getting a lot of NFL buzz, according to Matt Zenitz last night. Falk and Singleton aren't the only Auburn players with a shot to be first-round picks next year. Another who's quietly generating buzz among some NFL scouts as an early round possibility, maybe as a first-rounder, new Auburn tackle Xavier Chaplin. Scouts compare him to first-rounder Tyler Guyton of the Cowboys. That's the talent they brought in at left tackle, according to some of the NFL scouts, Brownie.
Yeah, I saw that story yesterday, and I was like, first of all, I did not know Singleton was thought of in perhaps first-round terms, but I really didn't know Chaplin was. And listen, Auburn's offensive line has been a liability for Auburn for quite a while. They did not recruit well in the Malzahn era at offensive line. They didn't recruit well at all in the Harsin era. And Hugh Freeze is trying to, as he tells us, dig his way out of a recruiting hole. But it's been a while since Auburn's had a really solid offensive line, and it starts, with having a quality tackle that can play in the NFL. And if that's Xavier Chaplin, that is amazing news to Auburn fans if that's what you're getting out of the transfer portal.
Well, not only Chaplin, Mason Murphy is a guy that, coming over from USC, really, really good player and, is a projected starter. So, the big splash guys are going to be Singleton and Arnold, but when you really start to look at these offensive linemen, those could be just as big of an impact coming out of the portal.
Recruiting news yesterday from Hoover High School of 6'4", 270 defensive lineman Tyson Bacon. Doesn't go Alabama, doesn't go Auburn. He chooses Miami. That's where the Hoover product is going to go play football, down at Miami. He chooses Miami over Georgia, Florida, and Ohio State. So Tyson Bacon is taking his bacon all the way down to South Florida. We'll hear fried up with Mario Cristobal and company down there. And an interesting phenomenon happened yesterday. Not one, not two, but 3 Georgia Bulldogs said, our recruitment is over with. We've already verbally committed to Georgia, but we're canceling all the rest of our visits. That included one of their big ones, Justin Fitzpatrick, the brother of Mika Fitzpatrick. He shut down his recruitment. 3 Bulldogs did that almost in succession last night. And a lot of people were saying, okay, on the eve of this NIL clearinghouse thing being put in place starting today, that this was some last-minute check cashing going on with some recruits.
1,000%. Hey, look, you guys, I'll give you each $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 not to visit another school, announce it publicly, done.
Here's
exactly what happened.
Here's how it's going to work.
So they shut it down.
I'll do a lot. I'll swim across a lake for $10,000.
Justin Fitzpatrick, by the way, 0 visits to Tuscaloosa during his now he lives down in South Florida now. I assume when Mika signed with the Dolphins, the family moved down there from Jersey or whatever. Yeah. But visited these other schools. Not going to end up visiting Miami. I'm sure he went there a lot. Not going to take any more official visits, but ended up coming on no visits, official or unofficial, to Tuscaloosa. Now, do you think that's because he already knew the time there with Minka?
Maybe. I don't know.
But would you guys not even just kind of the obligatory, if Nick Saban is still there, I've got to at least visit.
That probably would have changed it, yes, if Nick Saban were still there.
Would 100% gone through there.
And I'm not saying it's anything against Kalen DeBoer. I'm just saying
the relationship
with the Fitzpatrick family and the Saban family was probably one that at least you would do the courtesy visit.
He's signing with the guy who was Mika's defensive coordinator and big recruiter.
Yeah. Is that one of those, if you're DeBoer, you call in the favor? Hey, Saban, I've only got 5 favors a year from you.
Here's one.
I need Fitzpatrick to visit.
The little statue that you rub of Nick Saban, you get 3 wishes. Here's one of my wishes right here.
Well, if they had to be football related, how valuable would that statue be?
My first wish is I want 3 more wishes.
Can't do that one.
Yeah, they always make these rules, these fine print rules.
I mean, I guess you would use that favor if you thought you could get him. If I didn't think because I don't think any Alabama fans like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we didn't get a visit out of him. So it's not a PR.
Yeah. On 3 Sports is the one. They keep a list for some recruits of official and unofficial visits that they take and how often they took them. And he did a lot to Miami, a lot to Georgia. But 0 that I saw that he made to Tuscaloosa there. That's some college football news for you there. Our thoughts continue to go out to Deion Sanders as he, and we'll know more about the health issue that continues for him that has kept him out of Boulder all offseason. LT and Brownie talked about that on the show yesterday. Jim Harbaugh, by the way, coach of the Chargers, he's had some offseason heart issues that he's dealt with, that he's getting back to health as mandatory mini camps open up to them. So stressful business out there in coaching, and we hope both Coach Harbaugh and Coach Prime do well in their recovery there. Show today being brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. They bring you Lance's Lock. He's already told you he's got to play for Game 3 up tonight at lanceslock.com.
Yeah, I got 3 Major League Baseball winners, and we have Game 3, the outright winner on the side. Jump on board. Free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Whether any of these arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And as we move now to our college football spotlight, before we get to our 4 downs, it's brought to you by Shunnarah. I'm going to ask a question that I think is Well, Joel Klatt thinks it's a dead heat here. It's our spotlight today.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight, presented by our guy Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys in Birmingham for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. One thing that Alex wanted to do was create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced, so he's done that. They now handle not only personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
More pressure to win this year, Brian Kelly or James Franklin. Klatt says Brian Kelly's in the same place as James Franklin. Both of these are built to win this year, and both of these guys need to deliver. But if I ask you one that is absolutely the one that has the most pressure on him this year, it is?
Oh, it's Brian Kelly. It's not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah, James Franklin was in the semifinals last year. I can't believe that we're having this discussion, because to me, Brian Kelly is light years above James Franklin as a head coach. But Franklin, based on last year, doesn't have nearly the pressure that Brian Kelly has at LSU this year. Not even close.
Oh, I don't know, man. He's gotten heckled twice by his own fans now.
Well, because they know he's a joker.
Even in a playoff year, got heckled by his fans after the Ohio State game. Got heckled by his fans at the spring game, which is supposed to be a laid-back affair. I don't think either one. Well,
think about it like this. So Penn State, when is the last time they've really been relevant as far as winning a national championship? When does that even come to your mind? I mean, we've seen Saban do it. We've seen Les Miles. We've seen Orgeron. And now you've got a championship caliber coach who's been there for 3 years and hasn't got them to a college football playoff. To me, it's not even close.
I think I would go Miles. I think it's closer than Lance does, though. I would go Les Miles. Or, Kelly. But I do think it's closer than Lance does. I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure on James Franklin.
I think there is a lot of pressure. I would agree with Lance, so I think it's BK.
I agree.
My pick to win the national championship, but I understand James Franklin has pressure on him.
Well,
too.
how about this? Franklin can't get fired this year for on-field. You guys would agree. Even if they went 7-5, I don't think he could get fired.
Probably not. You think?
Well, I don't know buyouts on technically, but would he be worthy of a firing to have this team? Let's go this way. Tom Fornelli, best running back room in college football.
Oh, it's Singleton and Allen.
It's Penn State.
Yeah,
Singleton and Allen. So I've got a multi-year starter back at quarterback.
Who something could be an NFL quarterback in Drew Aller.
Who my other contenders in the Big Ten do not have.
Yep.
Oregon doesn't. Ohio State doesn't. Michigan doesn't. They don't have them.
USC doesn't.
Well, USC does.
Well, but not.
You've got the best defensive coordinator in football now.
You got him, right?
Jim Knowles.
Yep. Got him from Ohio State. Yep. So you spent that in the offseason.
Y'all are talking yourself into
No, I'm not, though, because
and if he missed the playoffs.
But if you've already built equity, I mean, you guys will give me, if Brian Kelly goes 7-5, he's done.
Probably so, and you're probably right.
I don't know buyouts, and that keeps it, but would he be worthy of being fired? I'd have no problem with it.
Yeah, and you're probably right that Franklin wouldn't at 7-5, and Kelly would. So that does put Kelly over the line.
But let me ask you this:
y'all just made a case for national championship or bust for James Franklin.
I think if Penn State was 7-5 and missed the playoffs,
okay, maybe.
I think he'd be worthy of being fired.
There would be some terrible losses.
That's right.
But let me ask you guys
this:
it's
a top-heavy conference.
If you had 100 athletic directors, and again, behind the scenes, Franklin probably is easier to deal with. Probably, I don't know this.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
maybe
I would agree
not.
with that,
But do you think out of the 100, how many would hire James Franklin to run their program over Brian Kelly?
I mean, there would always be some.
Taking personality out of it, I would say the majority is easily Brian Kelly.
I was going to go 90%.
Yeah.
Like if both of them are interviewing for the job, I bet Brian Kelly gets 9 out of the 10.
I'm like you guys. I think y'all both. You've got LSU winning it all. I've got LSU winning the SEC.
I got Texas. I'm Texas, but I've got LSU being very good. In the playoffs.
Is there a possibility though, like if they go 9-3 and they miss the playoffs, that could it be a bad fit? Like I don't know how LSU could be a bad fit for anybody that's a good head coach.
9-3.
Yeah.
So you're saying like fired at 9-3?
No, I'm just saying like if he has a 9-3 and doesn't make the playoffs, we're 4 years with no playoff appearances. It doesn't equate. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
If these are your all right,
you have them 9th, by the way, Brownie.
I do. Okay,
Yep.
So yeah, it's in the playoffs. So all right, here's two of your Here's the
Auburn's not a tough place to play.
Here's the most.
You've got them won.
Here's the two most obvious losses, Lance. So give me the third one. At Clemson, at Alabama. If you lose both those, I don't think anybody's stunned at that, right?
No, I think
For
you
LSU.
can lose both those and still get in.
All right, so give me the other loss. La Tech, Florida, South. I'll just do the.
Well, I mean, losable games are Clemson, Florida, Ole Miss,
That's right.
South Carolina,
Yep.
Texas A&M, Alabama.
Yep, at Oklahoma.
And at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So those are losable games.
But I think the only game you have an opportunity to be an underdog outside of the Alabama-Clemson games is the last game of the season.
At Oklahoma?
Well, maybe Ole Miss. Maybe Ole Miss. But they're going to be favored in all those other games. So with that said, they are going to lose a game if that does happen on paper that they weren't supposed to.
By the way, I did this last year with Oklahoma and Ole Miss. And I was kind of right. I'm not going to pretend like I was entirely right in what I was saying. I was
wasn't
kind of
the
right.
11-1 SMU.
No, it was 11-1 SMU. I said last year, sneaky playoff implication game, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Now, it had playoff implications for Ole Miss. Well, the Florida game had more, obviously, but it didn't for Oklahoma. That last game of the season, LSU at Oklahoma, could easily be for a playoff spot. Easily. Winner is in the playoffs, loser goes home.
Yeah, whoever loses a playoff bid in Norman, Oklahoma. See Alabama last year.
But at least in this case, the winner, Oklahoma, would be going to the playoffs in my scenario.
Before we get to four downs in this segment, I want to tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, the opportunity there to stay on top of your health, guys. Prostate health, kidney stones. I know when you see Urology Centers of Alabama, you think initially prostate health, and it's so important. Early detection can save your life, but they do a variety of different things. Vasectomies, if you've got pains from kidney stones, sometimes that is a tremendous pain that can disrupt your life. Deal with that in the best possible way, and everything in between, everything. Urology Centers of Alabama, Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. 16 locations, 35 urologists standing by to help you. Those unbelievable folks at Urology Centers of Alabama. And Father's Day coming up, New York Butcher Shop there to help you out, LT, with the best cuts of meat.
Hey, what does Dad really want?
A good steak.
He wants steak. He wants meat. You can get those gift cards. Again, man, you're benefiting yourself. Whether it's your old man, whether it's your husband, and you're taking care of Dad for being a great father. Get the gift cards. It's going to reciprocate right back to you. He's going to be able to pick up the fresh meats and the sides that are made in-house, the fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. But pick up the gift cards from Jim and that great staff. 2 locations, the original Cahaba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
First down.
Okay, again, a little heads up. Don't
forget nextround.store to buy all your next round gear there, and send the pictures when you're out rolling around in your gear. We appreciate those so much.
Yeah, more wins this year. Texas Tech or the Houston Texans?
Gosh, I'm gonna go Texas Tech here. I know. I've gotten too infatuated with this program, and I'm afraid it's going to start.
Okay, AFC South, who wins it?
Yeah, it's going to be Houston
probably
Texans.
Gonna be Houston.
I take the Texans. C.J. Stroud back for season number 3. He hasn't disappointed yet. Maybe a healthier receiving room. They had some injuries last year.
Yeah, the Nico Collins injury was big.
Yeah, Nick Chubb coming in. When he's healthy, he can contribute in the running game. He hasn't been healthy the last 2 years, but it's a cheap, free pickup for the Texans there. I think DeMeco Ryan's defense is really, really good. I can see that team getting to 10 wins, and I can see Texas Tech winning the Big 12 with 9 wins and being a playoff team. So I'll go 10 with the Texans.
I think I would go Texans 10 or 9. Tough opener on the road against the Rams.
But you're right when you start saying who's going to win the AFC South. I mean, Houston's the only team with a good conscience I can make a case for there.
I mean, it's not going to be the Titans with a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
See Jaden Daniels last year with the Commanders, no shot, right?
Right.
But it's not going to be the Titans. I don't think it's going to be the Jags. Don't really think it's going to be the
Colts. So I'm out of teams. By the way, speaking of the Titans, do you see that our buddy Taylor Zarzour got named their play-by-play voice? You know, Mike Keith took the Tennessee Volunteers job, And our buddy Taylor is now the radio play-by-play guy.
Taylor's had a
Good for
really
him.
good
He
career. I
has.
think he is one of the best out there. And this is good for him because, he's got one lane. It seems like he was going from golf, football.
Yeah. I bet he still does all that, though.
He might.
He'll probably still do the SEC Network stuff on Saturday, too, if I had to guess.
I think you were on your vacation when that news first broke, and we talked about it a little bit, and how Zarzar is and I think I just said his name wrong. Did I get it right? Zarzar.
I didn't know he was. So we talked about this on the air?
Yeah. When he got the job, the Titans job.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
It was, God, I forget when it was. He made the announcement. And, God, I want to say was it not pre-draft?
I saw it yesterday.
That is the first I've heard about it.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
I thought it was pre-draft.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was. He's one of the good guys in the business, and I love listening to him on Sirius XM. Inevitably, when one of the majors are going on, like this weekend at the U.S. Open, I will find myself in transit somewhere, and enjoy the heck out. It's amazing
golf
that
on the
you can
radio.
make golf on the radio so good, but it is fantastic the way they do it there.
This guy right here has told me he's listened to golf on the radio on the road for hours on end.
I remember when Shane Lowry won the Open.
Yeah.
Just listening to that.
They make it
and everybody
so
in the car
entertaining.
was so pissed.
I bet.
No, I love it. I'm usually by myself when I'm riding, but
Just got the one English girl. What's her name?
I don't
Dot
know.
something.
I don't know.
But he's fantastic at getting it from hole to hole and all that. So good for him. And Keith went where to the Vols?
Yeah,
right?
he's Tennessee Volunteers. Mike Keith is. Yeah.
Second down.
College football playoff appearance first. Texas Tech or the Florida Gators?
Well, I mean, I think there's a shot both happen this year. As you guys know, I'm high on Florida pushing for the playoffs this year. Texas Tech could easily win the Big 12.
Did you think we'd ever be in a world where Texas Tech spends more on their roster than Florida?
No. Or most any other SEC school, it appears, according to the reports. I am going to go. I'm going to stick with. I want to go Florida here, Dunaway, but it is a much easier path for Texas Tech just winning that conference.
Yeah, just the Florida schedule.
I know.
Yeah, Texas Tech for me. In fact, I have them in my rankings winning the Big 12.
Yeah, so you're in.
Here's the problem, though. If Florida has a 7-5, there's a chance Napier's out, right?
Oh, 100%.
So then you've got to reset the clock on Florida.
Yeah.
That's why I cannot believe I'm going Texas Tech.
Well, but again, a
but
7-5, there's a chance McGuire's out. So, I mean, either coach could lose their job this year.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, how many Texas Tech coaches realistically, after 4 straight winning seasons in their first 4 years, could lose their job? But when you pay
when you got a
$40
billionaire,
million,
like
Michael Leach.
Yeah, when you got a billionaire running your program, he is not going to settle for that.
Third down.
Peter Dinklage, 56 years old.
Little guy on Game of
The
Thrones.
little guy on Game of
way.
Thrones, yeah. Tyrion. Fantastic character. Better career, ultimately, Peter Dinklage or Pete Davidson?
I don't find Pete Davidson funny. There is almost
not funny.
nothing he's ever done that makes me laugh, but enough people find him funny that the guy gets gig after gig after gig. I know Dinklage for the one thing, Game of Thrones. What else is he doing? Huh?
Elf.
Oh, that's right. He was the publisher.
South Pole
3
Elf.
billboards. I mean, look, we need a little guy. Let's see if Dinklage can do it. I mean, he is kind of that go-to
Pete
guy.
Davidson he keeps cashing checks. I guess I'm going to go Pete Davidson.
And
on
Pete
this one.
Davidson, man,
he's got a lineup.
The notches.
Yeah, he's got a lineup.
I'm going to go Pete Davidson because I think his career will keep going longer, but I feel like with Dinklage, there will be these periods of like 2 to 3 years at a time where there's one little person that is at the forefront.
Yeah.
And then it moves on to someone else.
He probably has played his best role, though. I don't think he'll ever have a role that good again. And I have a feeling that Pete Davidson, he's having all of his tattoos removed.
Is he really?
Yeah, painful.
Yep.
I've heard that's
terrible.
But
Lasered off.
He's getting them all lasered off. He's matured a lot in the last year. I think he'll actually have a pretty good rest of his career. So I'll go Pete Davidson.
Do you find Davidson funny, Tyler?
Not really.
I've
Sometimes.
never had anybody tell me they find him funny, yet the guy is just cashing checks.
I mean, he
it's
is.
weird.
And girls like him for, I don't really know the reason.
I guess the humor.
I don't know. I don't like him.
I don't think
in
he's funny at all.
Sketches on SNL at all, and his stand-up is just okay.
Yeah.
I like the self-deprecating stuff he does, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter, Layton, just got back from New York on Saturday, and her and a friend went up, and her friend was dying to go to Staten Island just to see where Pete Davidson grew up. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I can't believe these 21-year-old girls would waste time when they're in
Going to Staten
one of
Island.
the more, energized city in the world to go over there to get a peek at the basement he lives in with his mom.
Okay, did you ever eat at Cafe Risque?
One time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is that the Cafe Risque?
But it was
So both of them would say,
No.
I can't believe of all the restaurants
All
you
in
could go
Florida,
to, how
yeah.
you would waste your time going to that one restaurant.
If you've been there, so on the beaten path from the Tampa airport to Gainesville, sign after sign after sign, and I was with 3 other dudes that wanted to go.
Yep. So two.
It was on the way. I didn't go out of the way at all.
Have you ever, on your way to the beach, done the detour and seen Hank Williams Jr.'s childhood home?
No.
Do you see the sign, right? Do y'all get off that exit
Yeah.
when you go to the beach?
Yeah, I've seen the sign, but there ain't a chance in hell that I'm going to waste beach time.
It's 2 minutes off the road. I mean, you're not wasting time. I mean, you are wasting time, but it's not like you go way out of the way. Super underwhelming, by the way. With all due respect to the people that are trying to run that museum and make a living, don't detour. Like one time there was traffic or something, we detoured and it ended up taking us right past it. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe Hank Williams Jr. was born in just a normal house, or Hank Williams Sr. was born in just a normal house. It's not Graceland.
Yeah, well, the same way with Elvis Presley in Tupelo.
Yeah,
it's just
that was a shack, right?
Just a house.
Yeah.
Is that 4 or is there one more?
4th down.
Joe Montana, 69 years old today. You guys process for a second. Joe Montana or Joe Rogan, ultimately better career?
Well, I know for me personally, it'll be Joe Montana because I usually side with sports in this. He's 4-time Super Bowl champion, right?
I think
4-time Super Bowl champion,
4?
3 Super Bowl MVPs,
Okay.
2 regular season MVPs.
Yeah. Won a national championship in college with Notre Dame.
Here's what I'll say about Rogan, though, Dunaway, and I think this might appeal to your past on the TV. He is the most influential, and I'm going to do air quotes here for a reason, media member, maybe in the world, certainly in America. And it's the first person I think you would ever say that about that is not on what is considered the traditional media, either a newspaper, radio station, or television network. He's doing it on his own platform, on a non-traditional platform, and he is the most influential media member in America.
It is a miraculous story for a guy that was a stand-up comedian doing Fear Factor, trying to act, to creating this incredible podcast. I remember the first time I ever heard about his podcast, I was calling on a client. And an actual service they were doing at this spa, Joe Rogan had been doing. And he was telling me about the Joe Rogan experience. I had never heard of it. I was like, you mean the old comedian that did Fear Factor? And this is years and years and years ago. But I agree with you. Like in 100 years, unfortunately for Joe Montana, you've had Tom Brady come along and Pat Mahomes. For Rogan, he is a true pioneer. I never thought I would be saying this, and I'm sure for a kid that grew up in the 70s and 80s, for him to even be in this conversation is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. I don't listen to every podcast he does. I'm selective on them, but he gets some of the most fascinating guests out there. And then you'll notice after he interviews them, a lot of other podcasts are trying to get the guys on too, or girls. I think he's good at what he does, and you can tell he studies the subject matter he's going to talk about.
A very intelligent guy. Would you guys not agree, though? Like, people that come up to me that talk about our show, they're like, one thing I love about it is you guys just have a normal conversation.
Right.
And I think when you listen to Rogan with his guest, and those interviews can go 2 and 3 hours.
Oh, a lot of times they do, 2.5 to 3 hours.
But he is just so comfortable doing just a regular conversation instead of an interview.
Yeah. I consume him, always have. But I'm going to go Joe Montana. Tyler, do you have something to say?
I'm going Rogan with this. He, there were so many articles that came out after this recent election saying that podcasts were a big factor in people deciding where to get their information and who to vote for. And he's the head of that.
It was a critical error by the Harris campaign not to go on there and allow Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to do it without them doing it. That was That was a massive error on their part.
But you hear some controversial, like, hey, did you hear about yellow number 5? Well, I heard Rogan talking about it. I mean, it's like, everything out there that is somewhat controversial gets in his space.
Yep. The pouches that I use on the golf course, and sometimes when I'm driving around with the nootropics, I got that from the Rogan podcast.
Did you really?
Yeah, bought it off his store. That is our 4 Downs today. The show brought to you today in part by our friends at Lags. Tell us about Lags, LT.
So starting tomorrow, you will have that all-day menu. Tonight it goes till midnight, so you can have breakfast, lunch, or a late-night dinner starting tomorrow through Saturday. They go all the way till 2 a.m., so maybe you work that second or third shift. Get in, see Eric, Justin, enjoy the incredible food from our friends at Lags, the delicious burgers, great sandwiches, like the bologna sandwich, the incredible sides, fresh fries, crisp tots, and also a great selection of beer out there. You can sit on the patio, watch a Braves game, nostalgic brand. Over in Homewood back in the 80s, again, a couple of Homewood guys brought it back to Avondale, located between Avondale and Cahaba Brewing, a stone's throw away from Mom's Basement. It's Lags Eatery.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services before is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. We're about to talk a little basketball here, college basketball, some changing things. We'll get back to college football at the top of the hour and the U.S. Open. Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at New Life Art. Daniel A. Moore is the guy that brings you the great artwork over the years. Perfect for Father's Day coming up, including basketball. Mark Sears earlier this year with one of the shots of his career down at Auburn, Final Four team, getting the win on the road. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. Buzzer beater there. You get the legend, Nick Saban, 6 national championships, and a whole lot more right there at DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. Go and enjoy that. And add to the sports room during Father's Day. Go there now. Forrester sends me this, changing rules in basketball and how things are being perceived in college basketball. There is a positive momentum to switch men's college basketball from the 20-minute halves to the quarters. That, according to the NCAA, that coming from Front Office Sports. Hurdles still remain, including the structure of media timeouts. It is the media. We talked about this earlier this year, too. It is the media timeouts that is the holdup right now. The TV partners who have bought these contracts are very comfortable with pregame, tip, 16-minute commercial, 12-minute commercial, 8-minute commercial, 4-minute commercial.
All right, so help. All right, so 16, 12, they under 16, under 12, under 8, and under 4.
Yeah.
So in this, you would get one TV timeout during the first quarter. You'd get the quarter break, so that's 2.
One in the middle.
One in the middle, and then you miss one. Because the next one would come at halftime. So you've either got to do 2 media timeouts in the first quarter or the second quarter, and then do the same in the third or the fourth, right? Yep. Or make them longer timeouts, which they probably couldn't make them long enough.
That is the one that is the holdup right now. Every other basketball level everywhere plays quarters, except for college basketball in the halves. We discussed when that was first brought up that we prefer the halves the way it is right now.
I don't. I would rather have the quarters.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just
I like the halves.
Yeah, I like
one of the
halves.
big advantages is resetting the fouls. You don't have as many free throws apparently this way.
Yeah. I like you're saying you get more free throws in quarters?
No, you get more free throws in halves than you do quarters because it resets the team fouls.
Right, which I would prefer less free throws. I like you get 2 more action plays. At the end of clock running down, you get 2 more of those per game.
Or lost possessions, however you want to look at that.
However your team manages it, that's up to you. But you see what I'm saying? Like you get 2 more, clock running down plays, however you want to word it. I would prefer quarters.
Yeah,
I've always thought it's weird that college basketball men's basketball is the only one in the world that does 2 halves.
Yeah, I watched a women's basketball game this year, and I preferred the halves.
Okay. But in the NBA, you don't think twice about it, right? Just because you've always seen it in quarters?
I don't, but I don't usually watch the first half, so... To me, I'm watching 2 12-minute halves at that point. I'm watching the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when I get
I don't watch the first half of NBA games.
If that's all you watch, you're watching 2 halves.
When I get conditioned for something 50 years, I kind of want it to stick.
Yeah. So that's one thing that's out there. The other is our friends at the Field of 68, who I just enjoy consuming. A whole host of folks, but Rob Dowster and Jeff Goodman were part of the most recent Field of 68 After Dark podcast, and one of their questions they asked, and we pulled a couple of bites here, you've got Auburn and you've got Alabama, and both have reworked their roster. If you had to choose which roster you wanted most going into next year, which one would you choose? Before you hear the experts, who would you go with? Todd Pettiford reworked Auburn, or LeBaron Philon and reworked Alabama?
I would go Philon, Millette, Reitzel, Holloway. I mean, what the known. Like, you've got guys that have stayed there. I mean, you're doing an entire, outside of Pettiford, you're doing an entire rebuild. Now, maybe Auburn ultimately has more top-end talent. Maybe they end up being better in the long run.
Did you listen to the podcast?
I have no, I've never listened to the 68.
Did you read the transcript of the podcast?
I have not read the transcript of the podcast.
You've ruined our sound bites. You nailed it perfectly.
Let's hear them say it.
I mean, word for word. You're the I mean, what an expert here. I mean,
No,
word for word. I mean,
really? But would you guys not rather have the known than? I mean, we've seen Kentucky try this a lot.
Yeah, no, I mean, literally, Lance, word for word on both these sound bites. First of all, here's Dowster asking Goodman the question and the answer. See if it sounds familiar.
Would you take right now, if you had to pick one of the rosters, would you take Alabama's roster or would you take Auburn's roster?
Alabama's, because I think they've got more returning guys. That's my biggest worry with Auburn's roster is you're throwing a bunch of new guys together. I don't think you have as much retention. Alabama, look at it now. Filan back, Holloway back, Reitzel back, Sherrill back, Millette back. That's 5 of your top 8. How many teams can say that? Not many. So while Auburn might have higher end talent, I love the retention. 5 of your top 8. If you can do that, man, these days you're doing something right.
Higher end and retention, same words that LT used there.
I didn't use retention, but
I thought you did. I thought
you essentially said it there.
But I think I did use. I said retaining. So yeah, same thing. Yeah. Same word. Yeah. But he's right. I mean, Goodman, when you can bring back 5 of 8, like to me, Pettiford was a better get back from the draft than Filan because I think Pettiford's a better player, but not to lose any of those other core guys in the transfer portal is pretty amazing.
Here's Dowster playing the devil's advocate. He says he agrees for the same reason with Goodman that he would take Alabama, but now he plays the other side of the coin on why Auburn is also a correct answer.
Tahad Pettiford, I think, is one of the guys that I'm most excited to see as a sophomore, right? Like, he was a dude last year. We saw the highs. We also saw the lows, right? He either looked like the second coming of Isaiah Thomas or he looked like a guy that was completely unplayable and you couldn't have on the floor, right? And I think that what happens when you are a sophomore is you see higher lows, if that makes sense, right? You're not going to have as much of a roller coaster ride when it comes to some of those performances. And if we can get more games closer to Tahad Pettiford at his absolute best, like, look out, man, because when that dude caught fire, he absolutely caught fire. And now you can combine that with Keyshawn Hall, who quietly was one of the best players in the Big 12 this past season after losing, what was it? He calls himself Big Guard, right? After losing 50 pounds from when he was a freshman at George Mason. So I think that you have two guys that are very, very real weapons offensively for Bruce Pearl. And then you got a couple athletes around him, man. Keyshawn Murphy is an absolute dog. Elijah Freeman is going to be one of these guys that comes in as the D2 player that really impacts college basketball. I would probably say that Alabama's the quote-unquote better team right now, but I think they're both really close, and I think both of them are going to be top 15 again. I can't wait, man. Todd Pettiford and LeBaron Filan next season is going to be an awesome matchup to watch. Like, you got to circle those games as always.
Okay, just as a overview here, it is so bizarre to see, like, Northeastern basketball guys this time of year talking about, man, that battle between Alabama guard and Auburn guard is must-see TV. I mean, just
circle those dates.
Yeah, the way Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl have put these basketball programs on the national stage is remarkable to me. With that said, I don't know the answer to the question. I know once all the transfer portal was done, I remember you saying you thought
Auburn was slightly ahead.
Auburn was slightly ahead, and a lot of the national people would say that. Immediately, I saw a lot of national people say the opposite. So I think the perception is Alabama's is better. I think Gary Parrish said it. These guys said it. There was another big national guy, maybe Rothstein, I'm not sure, that said it. But here's the thing.
The Torvik has Alabama slightly ahead.
Torvik, the analytics site. Here's the thing, and this is not a commentary about coaching or anything. This is just a point I'm making, okay? There are a lot of factors that go into what I'm about to say. This is not praise of Bruce Pearl or a shot at Nate Oates. Alabama had the better of the two rosters going into last season as well. Wouldn't you agree with that?
They did. Yes.
Everybody thought that. Yeah. Everybody thought Alabama had the better roster going into last year.
But to LT's point, they also were putting together more parts for the first time.
They were.
And Auburn had the the experience of them playing
That's right.
together back.
Yeah, they had the Janai Brooms, Chad Baker Mazzaras that had played a lot of basketball together.
But the interesting, and look, his point is legitimate when you look at how Auburn lost to Tennessee in the SEC tournament, how they got bounced by Florida in the Final Four. Those are games Pettiford didn't show up. But if you guys are drafting between both rosters, is Pettiford not your number one?
Yes.
Is Phylon your immediate number two?
Probably.
Probably, yes. Yes. I'd leave room for Wrightsell if he's healthy for 30 games.
Yeah. So, and the only reason I make that point is college basketball is just a weird game. Alabama had their better roster. Alabama went to the Elite Eight. They were a phenomenal basketball team, right?
Right.
I mean,
they
did
to Duke.
Yeah, by the way, I feel
a really good team.
That both of these teams are Sweet 16 teams and maybe beyond.
Yeah, but Auburn, with what was viewed as the less roster, ended up being number one for a large part of the year, was thought to be the best team in America for a large part of the year, and ended up in the Final Four. Basketball, it's a long season and a weird game.
We will get the SEC schedule pretty soon because John Rothstein reporting last night that there will only be one Kentucky-Arkansas game again this year. This time it'll be in Bud Walton. So no two meetings between Kentucky and Calipari. It'll be a one-off this year, according to John Rothstein. That means the schools already have the SEC schedule. We're just waiting for the complete release of the dates and all of that to come out. And like the change in the quarters to halves to quarters, that discussion, we do know that coaches' challenges will be a big part of college basketball this year. Not the always going to the monitor. It'll be challenges now on any out-of-bounds plays, any, in the arc, block charge calls that inside the circle, under the protective circle, all that type of stuff will be a coach's challenge now. You get one challenge. You get a bonus challenge if your challenge is correct the first time. That's to cut down on the trips to the monitor. That will be part of college basketball this upcoming season. Part of our show always is our friends at Michelson Laser Vision LT.
205-969-8100. Clear as day. The Vision now 2015 better than the 2020. Make the phone call that I made years ago. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer in the business. First to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. She's going to hook you up with an absolutely free consultation, zero to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelSonLaserVision.com.
And this summer you can go see America in an RV from Johnston RV Center. And they've got a RV price for just about every price range with approved credit starting at $129 a month. You can start there and you can go all the way up through the fifth wheels to the tow behinds to the big time motor coaches. All that right there at Johnston RV Center. You can see more at johnstonrvcenter.com, including that RV warranty forever. Gives you a lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying pre-owned. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, johnstonrvcenter.com.
I mentioned earlier that Penn State has the best running back room returning, according to Tom Fornelli of CBS Sports. Number 2 on that list.
Baylor?
Baylor did not make it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, top 7.
Wow.
Lance says he's sleeping on Baylor.
I think they are.
Notre Dame is number 2 with Jeremiah Love back. Number 3, according to Tom, everybody's list is different. Number 3 on the list, Tom Fornelli's list at CBS Sports, is Oregon, led by Mekhi Hughes, the transfer from Tulane. Get to Texas at number 4. C.J. Baxter, who was their running back 1, injured last year preseason, coming back from LCL, PCL. Fornelli believes he'll be healthy and lead a really talented running back room there at Texas. Is Wisner back as well at Texas?
I think so, yeah.
I think so,
Yeah.
too. So that could be a pretty dominant combination. Wisner busted onto the scene because of the C.J. Baxter injury. Georgia, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M just missing the top 4 of the list there.
I'm just surprised with Washington and Pendergrass, over 1,700 yards between the two and 18 touchdowns. Definitely the best backfield in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Big Ten, Powerhouse Independent, Big Ten, SEC. Like
the rest of college football?
I think a lot of people don't respect the quality of football being played in the Big 12.
But in your mind, Auburn is opening against a team that you think ought to be the top 5 running back room in America.
I think it should be right up there, yeah.
Yeah. Can I make a quick point on that?
Yes. That's not his complete list. You can get it all right there at cbssports.com.
I used to say all the time the worst thing a group of 5 coach could do is jump at that first big conference job that comes his way. Just be patient, man.
Do you remember Kirby's first offer?
When Kirby,
I think I'm right here.
Okay, so that obviously he was a coordinator at Alabama.
This was like in 13 or 14. Do you remember it, Dunaway?
Was it Western Kentucky or somebody like that, Lance?
Kirby's first was Mississippi State.
I thought it was Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, I think he is. Right.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
I remember
and he was
Mississippi
like,
State and then
I'm
Auburn.
good. I'm going to stay.
No,
but, you know, how different would it be? Like, I think Kirby probably has enough success, but the timing might miss with Georgia.
Yeah, but he was patient, and he didn't have to mess with all that. He got to coach Georgia right away. But, you know, when you look at these group of 5 jobs, I always say don't just jump at the first one that comes along. But what you just mentioned right there highlights why that's probably not the case anymore. Our guy, John Summerall, had a top 20 rusher in America last year at Tulane. And where's that kid playing now? You just said
Oregon.
It.
Yeah.
His
quarterback was
his starting quarterback, who, you know, he wasn't top 20 in the nation, but a really good freshman. A guy you went out and recruited and started as a freshman. He's got a ton of time left. He's playing at Duke right now. Anymore, if you're
got beat 100-0 in the
do
Gator
you
Bowl
guys
last
not
year.
take that into account if you're Scott Strickland and you're hiring another football coach, and you look at John Summerall and you're like, well, damn, he went 7-5 and 8-4, and I thought it would be a little bit better. Well, if he retained some of those guys, it would be.
It would be better. His starting running back that he recruited and developed is starting at Oregon now.
His starting quarterback
is starting at Duke now.
Yeah.
So I think anymore, Dunaway, you almost have to jump right away. I mean, I would have said the opposite, but it is going to be so hard for those coaches to maintain any sort of level of success.
To your point, LT, that if you're doing your job and you're not looking at wins and losses, you go, man, that guy can evaluate talent,
right?
Because he's recruiting guys that are really good,
That's
so
right.
good that they're playing their next year at Oregon.
And what I would think there is he evaluates talent early on, brings these guys in, they stick, but he's also able to go out and get other guys from smaller programs that he came from.
But I'll tell you what becomes super valuable for a guy like John Summerall is a good talent evaluating general manager in this new world we're going into, where these players will. And I was watching Billis on with Rich Eisen yesterday, Jay Billis, and he did a really good breakdown of what this is all going to look like. And he's talking about something we've talked about a lot on this show.
But I didn't think we'd get there until they had until they were employees. But he's talking about the contracts.
That players under contracts, yeah. And he even brought up what we've talked about is there's got to be some backside protection for the schools that if a kid hits the portal, they get something out of it. So, Lance, if John Summerall can hire a really good GM that can look at a running back or a quarterback and say, all right, let's sign them to a 3-year deal, at least they get something back from Oregon and Tulane or Duke. Or maybe those guys stay. Maybe they're like, I don't, you know.
I wonder how many of those guys are going to be hesitant to sign those deals.
Yeah. I mean, you're already going to Tulane. With all due respect to John Summerall and Tulane, you're not going to LSU.
But wouldn't you bet on yourself, hey, I want to sign a 1-year deal?
It cuts both ways.
Yeah.
What if you get hurt? What if you just have a bad year? What if you suck? I mean, you know, that is a gamble on yourself. There's no doubt.
I will tell you this, speaking of GMs, this one rings home to me because I thought he was well thought of in the NFL. Iowa yesterday hired Scott Pioli, former Patriot.
Yeah, he's been working in the media world since he left New England.
To be their front office guy.
I mean, he was the guy that got a lot of credit for he and Belichick building the no-name rosters.
I think everybody did shits on everything that wasn't Brady.
I mean, really, Belichick's like he's got leprosy all of a sudden.
Yeah. Ohio State says they, too, are getting rid of their collective properties. They are moving it all in-house. Ohio State Buckeye Sports Group, the Buckeye Sports Group, Learfield, their communications group, and the athletic department will team up and handle all the NIL dealings with Ohio State athletes. Don't be surprised if you see the same type of stuff happen in Tuscaloosa and other places like that are Learfield properties. I know Auburn and others are with a different broadcasting group now, and one of the reasons they made the switch was because they were going to handle all the NIL properties in-house through their broadcasting entities as well. And one name brand, even though they're not a power conference school, has made it public that they, within the next 6 months, expect to go private equity money. Did you see who that was?
I did not.
Boise State. They're going to go private equity with their athletic department. Probably a smart move. They're one of the teams moving to the new Pac-12.
I got to show my ignorance here. You know, when we had Clay on the other day and we asked, what are the possibilities about ultimately, individual private equity owning different, football programs, he brought up the old hospital model.
Yeah.
So like DCH, was that part of the university for a while?
I don't think so, because I think it's always been UAB, right?
Yeah, University of Alabama Birmingham is the University of Alabama's medical arm.
But have the majority of these universities, obviously he's done a deeper dive in it than we have, is that kind of the model how it really happened?
So they build them up and then they either contract a company to run them or they outsell them.
A lot of the university's hospitals were teaching and research hospitals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did all your great researches on university campuses, and they became big business. It became big business.
It just seems like, God, it just seems so different if somebody was to own Georgia football.
I know.
Yeah, a piece of it.
Yeah, but I mean,
I
who's
think,
to say
I
one
know.
day? I mean, you've got
I don't think it's out of the question.
Massive billionaires out there right now, and if you just had this billionaire Georgia fan that was like, I want to own Georgia.
Well, it just drives home the fact, though, that when we tell you this all the time, that Bear Bryant only made a certain amount of money from the University of Alabama.
Right.
The athletic department is not really part of the University of Alabama.
Nick Saban's University of Alabama salary, I think, was $450,000.
That's right. He did his $10 million.
That's right. $9.6 million.
Most of it came from the athletic department.
That is right. And
it's its own business.
You mentioned a lot of that burden falls on the sports property rights holder, like the Crimson Tide Sports Network. They've got to go sell the advertising for the university to be able to afford Nick Saban.
Top of the hour, Champy's world famous fried chicken, bringing you this final hour of the show coming up after the break. That includes some U.S. Open talk and some more college football for you. I'm going to ask these guys, what does parity look like to them? A lot of people are talking about more parity with these new NIL rules. I'll ask them if they believe that's true, and what does parity look like to them. At Champy's, good food looks just like what's on your screen right now. That's fried chicken that is brined overnight, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers, delicious sides that go with it. I call it Southern comfort food sometimes, that if you're just not having the best day, that you just want to go eat something that's going to make you feel good. It's going to take you back to a great moment in life that made you smile and feel great, like a good blanket or a good sweatshirt or a good hug from that special person. That's what Champy's chicken is, a good hug from that special person in your life. Brined overnight, cooked to order, served with love from Sterling and his crew down there. Highway 119 in Alabaster. It is Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment, you can always go online, visit urology centers, alabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We get to the final hour of the show here. LTD&B with you. Tyler and Forrester and Milton behind the glass. EG, a little vacation this week. Taylor Corrin handles everything social media at Next Round Live. At Next Round Live, go check out everything on our social platforms from TikTok to Twitter and Instagram. And don't forget on the podcast, whether you're Apple or Spotify, set the automatic downloads. That helps us out tremendously, and we always say thank you for all of that. Brownie, tell us about Shunnarah, Alexander Shunnarah, to start this hour.
I'll do just that. Jimmy Dunaway, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys, a national firm with Southern roots, and they've recovered more than $2 billion for clients here throughout Alabama, throughout the Southeast, throughout the country. But he is an Alabama guy, and he wanted to create a firm that could handle any issue that his community in Birmingham faced. So he did it. The firm now handles not just personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. That is Shunnarah.com.
And don't forget, Lance, the new hats are in, part of the new store there at nextround.store, nextround.store.
Yeah, check them out. We will have everything loaded up on the website today, but you can order these. Perfect for Father's Day. The new summer colors, including that creamsicle orange and white T-shirt. Those are all available as well. So Next Round Store.
nextroundstore.com to go check that out there. Okay, so I asked the question going to break. Do you think more parity is heading to us in college football? And what does parity look like to you? Brownie, I'll start with you. What does parity look like to you? And do you think we're headed to more parity in conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten?
Parity would look like to me, because we often say the NFL is the model of parity, right?
That's right.
Do you think we say that because of who wins the Super Bowl or because of who makes the playoffs?
I think we say that because who makes the playoffs,
I agree.
in my opinion.
I agree. Because there are a lot of times when a team gets good enough to win a Super Bowl, see the Kansas City Chiefs, see the Philadelphia Eagles, before them, the New England Patriots, they're consistently in the mix, but there is so much turnover in the NFL playoffs year over year. Traditionally, I don't know if we're still living up to this number, but traditionally it's been 50%.
Well,
so to me, Lance, college football playoff, and I'll do this exercise with you guys real quick. College football playoff turnover, 50% would be parity to me. Would that be parity to you guys?
6 new teams this year.
6 new teams this year.
But I mean, we'd take 5. We'd take 5.
Okay.
It'd be close to that.
We do have parity because we have an equal amount teams can spend in the NFL. The difference is to your Kansas City model is when you have an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
That is the difference between a team that's spending, the exact same amount and that team's got an elite quarterback. True parity right now is the NBA. Whoever wins this series, more than likely the Thunder, is going to be the 7th champion in 7 years.
Yeah, that's championship parity. You're right. Yeah.
I think when it comes to college football, it was a top-heavy sport for a while. It just depends on who's going to spend the money. If Ohio State year in, year out, and Texas year in, year out spend $40+ million on their rosters, they are going to be in the mix every single year.
So do you think we're headed to a place where there's more parity? And what does parity look like to you?
You would have to tell me if people are going to be willing to spend money. It looks like Alabama's not willing to spend money.
Why do you say that?
Well, I just don't think that they're spending money at the level other teams are spending right now.
Greg Byrne yesterday on his interview with Cole and Greg on Jocks said that the lack of people entering the spring portal is an indication that they've got their stuff squared away.
That's incredible. The only SEC team to be able to do that. I'm just wondering, can that model hold true when you start? If your kid's being recruited right now, and there are 6 teams, and we'll mention them again if you miss this: Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame, Miami, and Texas Tech, according to Sports Illustrated, that will spend $40+ million on their football rosters this year. If those become the 6 regular players year in, year out, why would you not want your kid to go to one of those schools?
I mean, I don't disagree with you on that. But if you go...
I would answer. I'll tell you
go.
why I disagree on that.
All right.
Okay, they may be spending the most amount of money on their rosters. That doesn't mean they're spending the most amount of money on Jim Dunaway. So I could go to other schools that are going to spend the most amount of money on Jim Dunaway. If Ohio State is spending $40 million, are they spending $40 million on 40 different players? Where I could go to Alabama, I'll say, and not only do I get the great, when I read about the 4 or 5-star recruits that pick Alabama, they talk about the fact that they have the world-class training facility there, the sports medicine facility that's part of the football complex there, how they've got special counselors that basically are into injury prevention that they have at Alabama that they didn't see at other places. And they may be able to spend more on me, both literally and figuratively with other stuff around me, than Ohio State or Oregon or Texas Tech is going to spend on me because they're spending so much on the whole roster.
Yeah, and look, and I think they'll get the one-off Dunaway, but all I'm saying is if they consistently spend the most and they evaluate the right talent, kids now are going to take $4 million over $2 million. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, most of them are. I agree with you. You might have the one that doesn't, but most of them are.
I would also say that numbers are not always factual. You're in sales. Sometimes sales numbers that certain people pitch clients aren't the reality. Unlike us, we'll go in and pitch real hard numbers. Sometimes other people pitch fake numbers. Sometimes to look good, you're selling, we're spending this amount of money that may help you in recruiting. I'm just saying, not that the SI story is not factual.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying you have no idea of knowing what Alabama is spending and what Oregon is spending.
It would be so fascinating if you listed the 136 Division I FBS teams and the true NIL number next to each one of those.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
But in my example, where I say, to me, college football parity could be 50% turnover in the playoffs like the NFL. If I gave you this world where of the 12, this year you did not have Indiana. You, with all due respect to our guest yesterday, Coach Rhett Lashley, you do not have SMU.
That's right.
You do not have Arizona State. Gets a little harder after this. There's 3.
But you're preaching this is my top. You're running down the fact that I think we're going to have parity.
Tennessee.
We're
all right.
have turnover.
You don't have Tennessee. So I'm up to 4. I need 2 more. I don't know the other 2 I'm going to use here. So we don't have Indiana. We don't have SMU. I'll say Boise. Let's say Boise. Let's say Boise doesn't make it in. So there's 5. So if you had that and you had a brand new 5 this year, I mean, you'd call that parity,
Oh, yeah,
right?
no,
that would be an indicator of some parity.
I think we'll get, again, we're going to have a couple of Indianas and SMUs this year. I really believe that. I just wonder, can that maintain if there are 6 or 8 teams that completely separate themselves and are just all in and spending ridiculous amounts of money because they've got your double eagle guy.
Yeah, LSU, Alabama, Miami, Texas Tech, and a different group of 5. That's 5 new
There's
teams
5 new
from
players.
here.
Yeah.
And I think you'll get that this year.
That would be indicative of parity to me. Now, that's parity in terms of the playoffs. Now, if you want to talk about it in terms of winning a national championship, I think it's still going to be from a select group of college football teams. And if you want to talk about it, conferences winning championships, I think it's going to be from 2 conferences. So there's not going to be a ton of parity in those terms. But I mean, if you're willing to say I'll consider it parity if we have good turnover in the playoffs, I think you're going to have pretty good turnover in a 12-team, 14-team, or 16-team playoff. That's probably going to be more turnover at the bottom than at the top. But I think you're going to have a lot of turnover in those, or enough that you would say, okay, we get some fresh blood in there every year. Maybe it's a team that went 3 years ago, but they weren't here last year or the 2 years before.
Yeah, that's parity, the way we see it. We'd love your comments in the chat room as well. The show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. Tell us about Woodhouse, LT.
Hey, Father's Day coming up this weekend. Let me guess, you have not gotten the gift yet. How about the gift of relaxation for the guy that busts his ass every day for you? Dad would love a gift card from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. You can stop in, see Stuart and that great staff, pick it up right there, located at the Summit Shopping Center's beautiful location. Or you can order those gift cards 24/7 online. Hand it to Dad, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let him choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the massages, body treatments, skincare, nail services, and more. Woodhouse Day Spa voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, order that special person gift online for Dad all week long, 24/7 at birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
And our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, always this final hour of the show. Right now, Tyler, if you were eating at Champy's Chicken, you would order what?
Ooh, I've got a craving for that sausage and cheese and pickle platter.
It is good.
Damn.
Yeah, that's good.
It is good. I love going with that. They got a little, so good. The pickles are fantastic.
Boy, that with a good IPA in it, that really, I don't want to say underrated Champy's Bar.
We just don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it enough. The first time I ever walked in there, I was blown away with just how cool the restaurant layout was and that really neat bar that you can post up at if you're in there tonight, watch Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
It's all right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. U.S. Open starts tomorrow. A couple of things there with our friends at Vulcan Tire and Automotive. More on them in a second. They bring us all of our coverage of the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Rory McIlroy made headlines. This was before the Jack Nicklaus tournament, and I've never gotten to it. So I want to get to it now because after he won the Masters, Rory McIlroy acknowledged that he has found it challenging to maintain motivation and grind on his game. He described it, quote, a little bit tougher to grind it out on the range for 2 or 3 hours every day that's needed to stay at the top of your game. He has expressed a desire to reset and figure out his new goals now that he has reached his career Grand Slam. Did it surprise you that he is, after hitting that milestone, some people thought that would unlock Rory on going on an unprecedented run of more majors. At least immediately, this is the next major since then, right? No, they played the PGA Championship.
They played the PGA where he played very poorly, by the way.
Played poorly. Missed the cut last week at the Canadian Open.
Played even worse there. He's in poor form coming into this.
He's admitted that he's having a hard time getting remotivated after hitting that career landmark. Does that surprise you?
It surprises me that he was so public about admitting it, but I think it's human nature. So, no, it doesn't surprise me. I think there are rare few Tiger Woods of the world that would never encounter something like that they are just so cut out of a different cloth, so driven.
Nick Saban talked about it all the time, that you really find out your work ethic and what you're made of after success.
When you have success.
But you're talking about, in Tiger and Nick, 2 guys that are the greatest to ever do it, and they are completely wired differently. You guys will give me, there's a lot of people we know, they've probably got a number in their head. Once they get to that number financially, they're done.
Yeah.
And maybe for Rory, his number was completing the Grand Slam. And once I get to that point, do I really want to grind? He's made over $185 million just on the course in career earnings.
Oh yeah, he's made his grandkids money.
Yeah,
and
it gets to a point like, how much more, because this, to keep up with the caliber of golfers out there, there are so many just great, tremendous golfers now. for him to have to bust his ass day in and day out? And when does it get to a point where I still want to play golf, have a little bit of fun, and these guys don't want to embarrass themselves, so you can still go do it on a recreational level with friends at your own course that you own.
Yeah, now he doesn't have to work as hard at it as some, and I don't mean to diminish Rory's work ethic, but he is phenomenally talented above almost any other player in the world not named Scheffler. So, I mean, there's a guy that's grinding to try to get from the Korn Ferry to the PGA Tour. He's having to work harder than Rory's having to work, is my point there, right? But
did you just say you think Scheffler has more skill than Rory McIlroy?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's very close, Jim. Very, very close. But
I mean, what is Scheffler's weakness?
So you think when it's said and done, Scheffler will have a better career than Rory McIlroy?
Yeah, I would. If you made me bet right now, I'd bet him on more majors than Rory, also win the career Grand Slam.
Would you have said that about Jordan Spieth early in his career?
I would have. Okay. I would have. But Scheffler, now to my defense on that, Jim, Scheffler has been elite longer than Spieth was able to be elite. He's already surpassed a level of elite golf that Spieth lost very quickly.
Remind me of this too.
And I'll tell you, I'm sorry, Lance.
Well, I was just going to say, unlike Spieth and Rory and John Rahm, I've never seen Scheffler. He is, whether he's an eagle or double bogey, it seems like he is so even.
Yeah, that's one thing that helps him a lot. Is he's the same guy.
Like even Tiger was very emotional, but I mean Scheffler just doesn't get emotional.
He's a very even kill guy, and that helps him a lot. Here's something real. Let me go golf geek for 30 seconds here for Scheffler Dunaway that will, I think, help him. He's got a very unique swing. The foot action, like everybody jokes about it. I mean, you don't see many players, if any, do that. Certainly not at an elite level like he does. And everybody has left him alone his whole career and hasn't tried to fix that. And I think that will benefit him a lot, that he's not going to get baited into. That's something that happened to Jordan Spieth. I'm really good, but I might be the best ever if I just tweak this a little bit. And you start tweaking stuff, and you're never the same after that. And I think Scheffler will avoid that in his career because his motion is so unique that I don't think anybody's going to try to screw with it.
Scheffler's won 3 of his last 4 starts. He's plus 275 coming into the weekend, the shortest odds to win the U.S. Open since Tiger Woods at plus 175 back in 2009. He's the heavy favorite. It starts tomorrow at Oakmont for the 10th time in U.S. Open history. They're hosting the U.S. Open at Oakmont, that beastly track there that had Rory McIlroy shoot an 81 in his practice round. And he said when it was over with, I didn't feel like I played that bad. And he shot an 81.
Lance, I don't know if you saw this yesterday. He said, I birdied 17 and 18 to shoot an 81. And this was not a practice round like with the fans out there. This was when he came before.
Yeah, last week.
It was last week. It was before any fans are on the grounds or anything. This is just him going out and playing.
It sounds like you guys at Ballantrae, right?
No, I mean,
I shot an 82 yesterday at Benbrook.
Yeah, so Dunaway, you would have
missed a few putts.
You would almost beat Rory
if you didn't junk one into the trap.
Water on number 3, and then a couple of bad holes that got me to an 82.
That was astonishing to me. Now I would go ahead and say it again, Dunaway. And for those wanting to pick Rory this week, his game is in bad shape right now. He has not played well. But to think that
in a place that one shot can get you a 9.
Oh, there's easy. To think that the current Masters champion had to birdie the last 2 holes to shoot an 81 in a practice round, not a tournament round, just a no pressure practice round is pretty amazing.
Brown's one of Brown's picks, Bryson DeChambeau, comes in. He's finished in the top 6 in the last 5 U.S. majors, so he's on a roll in U.S. majors. Also on a roll is John Rahm from the Live, where he's dominating that. But in the last 3 majors, he's been in the top 15 of those. People think that this could be the time that Rahm comes back from the Live, where he's winning everything. But he's been top 15 in his last 3 majors, that maybe this is the time that he knocks on the door again.
Yeah, surprisingly good Masters out of him. We had talked about going into the Masters, how poorly he had performed in the majors since he flipped to Live overall. But he stuck back in the Masters, and he's played a lot better. The thing about DeChambeau, and this is what will be massive on this course, he's probably the best driver on the planet right now by a long shot. When I say probably by a long shot, that is contradictory. So let me rephrase what I just said. He's the best driver on the planet by a long shot. And that is going to be of massive importance because y'all keep talking about the rough. If you can hit bombs, it's going to mitigate the rough because I'm closer to the green. Now, I'm still in a mess, but I'm in a mess with a wedge in my hand rather than a mess with a 6-iron in my hand, right? So him being able to drive the golf ball in the fairway is paramount, but even if he's not in the fairway, he can hit it long enough that even in the rough, that's going to mitigate some of that penalty a little bit. That's why I like DeChambeau so much this week.
Yeah. One of the hottest guys on LIV is Joaquin Niemann. Is that right? Joaquin Niemann. 3 different ways. Finally got it right with a little help. He could be a dark horse to keep an eye on. Ben Griffin, another guy.
He's been playing really, really well.
You keep an eye on.
Yeah. Cool story. I discovered Ben Griffin on TikTok. He's really, really big on TikTok. But he was a guy that was a mortgage broker. He left golf to become a mortgage broker, got back in golf, and has won 2 tournaments this year.
Are you not taking Mason Howell?
I am not taking Mason Howell, Lance.
Who was your third? You were going to mention it the other day on the air.
Shane Lowry. And I know I had him in the Masters too, so y'all can all line up and tell me you're just going to pick him until he wins. Probably right. But Shane Lowry led this tournament going into the final round the last time it was here in 2016. He's got a bunch of top 5s this year. His game's in good form. I like Shane Lowry to contend, maybe even win the thing. So I know the first 2 are obvious, but this was the way this started is like, all right, Scheffler and who else? I quickly said DeChambeau. I know those are 2 huge favorites. But then y'all asked me for a third. I think my third would be Shane Lowry, the Irishman.
Look forward to the U.S. Open, which gets going tomorrow. Forster, did you get the Mardi Gras-like float that I sent you? Okay. Tell us about Hemp Hill, LT. Hot or cold, flowing right. Hemp Hill keeps it all rolling for you and throughout the summers here in the South.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. If you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, LSU, one of the teams that's rolling to Omaha, and they're going to do it the only way they know how to do it down in Louisiana. Mardi Gras Mike has put together it's a Mardi Gras-like float that he's going to take to Omaha. That thing's rolling all the way to Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know what it is on Waze, Brownie, from Baton Rouge to Omaha or New Orleans to Omaha. But Mardi Gras Mike's taking that up there. It'll make appearances at the stadium and for tailgates throughout the city of Omaha as long as LSU is there. There he is on the road hauling that thing. That from our buddy Fletcher, WDSU, down there in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, covering the LSU Tigers.
That's going to be a 14-hour, 21-minute drive from Baton Rouge to Omaha, towing that big old thing.
They've made it.
Right behind that Ram truck.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they know how to do the drive, Lance. You're right. That's got to be bad on your gas mileage, too. A lot of wind resistance on the Tiger.
There goes Mardi Gras Mike, LSU. That's Saturday night, last game of the first round. Arkansas and LSU, the 2 SEC teams. They get going Friday with Coastal Carolina and Arizona, then Oregon State and Louisville. On Saturday, it's Murray State and UCLA, followed by that Arkansas-LSU game. When we come back, we've got trash and a lot more to get to. It's the next round today, being brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy, but also by the fine folks who run our store, nextround.store. Nextround.store. Go check out the latest gear right there. Tyler?
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You
could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation state that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
You can tell LT hasn't made it on the road game tailgates for Alabama. We were just talking about some country music songs and Tennessee Orange, and you hear Morgan Wallen drop the Vols and Riley Green drop SEC football, and we were talking about the song I Hate Alabama. I didn't know who sang it, but you hear that in Knoxville or Auburn or Baton Rouge. They'll be blaring that when Alabama's in town.
I've never heard
I
it.
hate Alabama.
I mean, I would assume
I'm sure it's a love song, heartbreak song too.
Yeah. I was in Knoxville last year for
Nick
the
Saban.
Tennessee win over Alabama. I would assume at a tailgate or two they were playing it, right?
Oh, I would imagine.
yeah.
It gets heavy play. I heard a cool story from a country music group over the weekend. You got time for that, Dunaway?
Sure, I do. Let's tell you about Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City. They bring you not only great roofing, but cool stories for Brownie on the show all the time. It's a free, no-cost roof inspection. Start with that, free, no-cost roof inspection. But so many of you have had some storm damage or wind damage, or have some questions on whether or not you've had storm damage or wind damage, and you can't see on your roof without getting up there. Greg says, wait, don't go up there. I'll go up there for free. A no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531. 542-3531. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau, locally owned for over 20 years. If you've had storm damage, call him up. He'll come help you. Deals with insurance providers like none other, so that helps you out a lot. But he does full roof replacements. He's got a business license, so he can do some storm damage repairs and all of that. It's all online at Storm Restoration Roofing. Call him up, 205-542-3531. That's his cell number. But also Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Text him, call him, DM him on Facebook, comment on Facebook. Locally owned with a family set of crews there. He's got sons and sons-in-laws that are on those crews. It's a different way of doing roofing. Local and reliable. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. Brown.
Parmalee, you've probably heard of Parmalee, Dunaway, country music band. They're from Parmalee, North Carolina, and they named their band. It's two brothers and a couple other guys. And I was riding around this weekend. I had on, I think, the highway on Sirius XM, and they were doing one of those like songwriters deal, sing and then talk about a song and sing and talk about a song.
It was Friday afternoon. It was the happy hour.
Might have been. Oh, yeah. That guy's good, by the way.
Really
that does
good.
that. Have you listened to that?
Oh,
they're at Margaritaville?
All the time.
Yeah. Buzz Brainerd is that dude's name.
Yep.
He's really good at what he does.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, their big song is Carolina. That's their big hit, a song called Carolina. And he said he was about to play it, and he's like, I got a story behind this song. And he even said, I'm going to get emotional telling it, even after all these years. He said, but we were a band. We were like any other band. We're just playing every gig we could get, and we are struggling to make ends meet. We didn't have the money we needed. Gas money was tight. Food money was tight. We were sleeping in the cars rather than sleeping in hotels. He said we were pretty much at the end, and we decided if ever we were going to make it, we had to record some studio songs we could shop around. He goes, so we call this studio in Atlanta, and the guy says, how many songs do you want to do? And said, we got 4 songs. He goes, I'll charge you $11,000. He goes, for $11,000, we go in, they record and master our songs, give us something we can take to the record companies or radio or whatever. He said, we didn't have $11,000. And he said, we had this guy back in Parmalee that had always told us, if y'all need anything, y'all come to me for money. He goes, so we'd never done it. We went to him. He wrote an $11,000 check to the recording studio. We go down to Atlanta and we record our songs. Because about a week later, the recording studio calls and says, that check bounced. He said, so now we've got these produced songs that we think are our only shot at making it big, and the $11,000 check is bounced. And he goes, we've got no other option. He goes, we go back to the guy. He apologizes. He gives us some story. He goes, but he didn't offer to make it good. It was like, we're out $11,000 or that, whatever.
You're talking about the guy that wrote the check?
The guy that wrote the check was like, hey, it's not
I'm not going to write you another one?
I bounced the check. That's all I got.
Wow.
So maybe he had run his mouth a little too much about having money. He says, my mom, single mom, worked her whole life for us, went and took out a second mortgage on her home to pay the $11,000. And Carolina was on, that's their hit, was on that recording. And the guy was
they wrote it, I hope.
They wrote it, yeah. And they made all the money off of it, wrote it, produced it. And that was their big hit. And he said the first thing we did was not only pay off the second mortgage, pay off the entire mortgage for my mom, because that's the first money that came out of that album was paying it off. That's a really cool story.
Take it the bounce check guy didn't get any backstage passes.
I think bounce check guys showed back up.
Yeah, no private equity for him. He doesn't own a little piece of Parmalee like he could have. Good story there. You can enjoy great stories like that all the time here on the show from Brownie and his world travels. Thanks to our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Storm Restoration Roofing. Forster, you had something for me you sent. What do we have? Pop it up for us. Here we go.
We got Coach Prime.
It's another good story.
Deion's responded to all the outpouring of support and whatnot.
Yeah. Wow, I'm truly blessed for the abundance of well wishes, for all the thoughts and all the prayers. Thank you from Deion Sanders. I can assure you all that everything is okay and will continue to be so. God got me like no other. I have so much more work to do to glorify God, so please believe God got me. And he's excited to get back to Colorado and go to work. So everybody's been worried about Coach Prime. Had that blood clot issue that cost him some amputations on a foot, and some health scare in this offseason that's kept him away from Boulder. He's been dealing with family doctors there in Texas at his Texas home, but he's assuring everybody he's okay, on his way back to Colorado pretty soon there. Deion Sanders.
Better chance Josh Heupel wins a national championship at Tennessee, or Deion gets Colorado to a 12-team playoff.
Again, when you start talking about these Big 12 teams,
I know one's got to get there.
Somebody's got to get there, and it is so freaking wide open in that conference.
Do you think Colorado will ever have a year like they had last year? I know we doubted him last year.
We doubted him last year. I mean, we doubted him year one, Lance, and he had a good year. We doubted him last year. He had a better year, and it will get forgotten because the game didn't go well. But they were playing Kansas at Arrowhead Stadium. If they win that game, I don't think they do they lock down a spot in the Big 12 championship game?
I think so, yeah.
Or they either lock down a spot or they had the inside track, like all the analytics are in their favor of going to the Big 12 championship game. And I would just take you back to when Deion was hired. If I had said year 2 he would have them in the Big 12 championship game, everybody, including myself, I would have laughed at myself.
Yeah.
First, I wouldn't have been able to finish the sentence, and he was that, close.
I still would take Heupel, Tennessee winning the national championship before it.
Trash is coming up after LT tells us about the wonderful folks with Company Distilling, now part of the Alabama landscape at your local ABC stores, whether it's store 80 or store 36 and everywhere else that you get Company Distilling now.
You think, what was the town drunk in Andy Griffith?
Otis.
You think Otis would know all the locations by numbers?
Number 80, oh yeah, it's down there on the corner.
But you're right, Dunaway. Company Distilling is now in Alabama. Big news there. Available in 9 states, not only Alabama, but states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. Whether you're picking up a bottle for a weekend gathering or just exploring something new, Company Distilling is worth the pour. If you can't find it on the shelf, just ask your local store to order it in. Spirits this good should be shared with Company, just like the name. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Please enjoy responsibly. For more information, CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Get your hand off my penis!
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy as we get closer and closer to the weekend. If you're heading to the beach, the lake, the pool, pick up some delicious Bud Light. Kanye West changed his name again. Did you guys know this? Yeah.
He was Ye, right? Y-E. Am I right about that? Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, Ye? Is that how he said it? I'm sorry. Apologies to the West family.
Yeah, I would have thought it was Ye, too.
I thought it was Ye all these years.
Yeah.
It was Ye?
Ye.
Okay.
Okay, well, it goes from Ye then to Ye.
As in Kanye.
Ye. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you
I
for
would
the
have thought
obvious
Yeezys,
miss.
right?
Yeah,
With the
Yeezys are his
Well,
shoes.
yeah, he also went by Yeezy and Jesus.
Well, according to page 6, the rapper's CFO is the guy that submitted the updated paperwork listing the new moniker across all of his business ventures. But, yeah, Ye.
Yeah. So is it Y-E-Y-E? Is that how we spell this?
It's Y-E-Y-E, yeah. You think that one will stick?
No.
Not for long, apparently, according to the rest of the paperwork.
From that to this, boy, this seems interesting. An indoor park with a one-of-a-kind waterless slide is now welcoming thrill seekers in their first Ohio location in Columbus. Now, Slick City Action Park is now open. The 35,000 square foot Columbus Park is home to 15 waterless slides from the, quote, Slick Slide portfolio, a series of slides that leverage proprietary slide surface technology in order to generate an experience like that of a water slide in their speed and performance, according to the company site.
So this is going to be the next generation of indoor trampoline parks, hopefully with less injuries.
Do you...
but the trampoline is a true trampoline. This is actually a water park with no water.
It is, but do you slide like on one of those little rugs or something like that? Is that the way it works?
Does not look to be the case, Brown. Like these down here, looks like they're rollers that get you over those humps.
Well, according
Slick slide there
to the general manager, quote, we have a patent technology that we coat the slides with. We pair that with slide mats that give our guests the slickness to the slide allows you to get the speed as you're going down. Now, the new Ohio location, one of several Slick City developments across the nation with parks already open in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Missouri, Texas, and Wisconsin. I've only been to a couple of water parks, but the appeal to me was being out in the sun in a refreshing water park.
The purple one, Brown, I can see the mat there. Good call by you there.
Oh, okay.
The one in the orange, I could not see.
Yeah.
I took the kids a couple of times to Great Wolf. I think Forrester and I talked about that once before, that the indoor water park. We went in December twice. Kid's birthday in December, so Great Wolf.
On a 1 to 10, Jim.
Indoor water
Did you
park.
ever think of the Walt Weiss kid when
I
you were
did.
there?
That's why I quit going to Whitewater.
I did not. And I don't know if this was before that or after this or that, but I enjoyed it both times, but it was nothing I was thrilled about. They loved it because they were indoor in December swimming and water slides.
The that photo right there looks very loud. So that's a loud environment right there, right?
That's Chuck E. Cheese on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, you got a kid crying in there, probably several crying. You got a bunch yelling at each other. One dad telling a kid it's time to go, game's about to come on, and the kid's screaming and yelling at him.
And that one techno song playing
yeah.
over the loudspeakers that
Sandstorm.
they use. Yep, Sandstorm, that they play at the laser tag arenas.
Hey, I'll tell you what was a childhood pain is when you got on one of those slides on the playground and it wasn't as slick as you wanted it to be and your skin would catch on.
You
it.
had shorts on.
Yeah, it did make that noise.
It was 147 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you dove for a loose ball in Coach K's camp.
Yeah, it made that noise when he started sliding. You're like, oh, man.
Deputies say a man tried to dodge outdoor security cameras only to be caught on an indoor footage rummaging through a fridge. Now, on Thursday, deputies with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office responded to a burglary at a residence. The owner told dispatchers he was watching a live feed of his security cameras when he saw an unknown man, later identified as 49-year-old Jose Garcia, pictured right there, in his kitchen looking through his refrigerator. The homeowner told dispatchers that he left his home that morning to pick up his son when he received a notification that motion sensors inside of his house had been activated. Also told deputies that outside cameras are usually activated, but they were not activated at the time of the incident, leading him to believe that the Garcia had disconnected the outside cameras to gain entry into the house.
If you were writing a script, Tyler, and you had a resident from Mexico, it seems like the default name would be Jose Garcia.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
Jose Garcia. It's the Pat Smith of the Spanish-speaking world.
Shout out Pat Smith.
Jose Garcia.
This guy would have been Jose Garcia would have been disappointed in my fridge. I don't really have anything in my fridge.
Yeah. Forrester says this is Hispanic meatloaf. He's spot on that.
That's exactly what it is.
It's Hispanic meatloaf.
Yeah. Dose out of trace ain't bad.
That was really good on the fly, Dunaway. It's one of your better ones.
He's got a little feminine look to him, right?
He does. I thought it when the thing popped up, and I've never thought that of meatloaf.
Like he might be in transition.
Oh, Dunaway's got
I was going to say, if we shaved this guy, facial hair, and darkened and straightened his hair out.
I don't know. I've never seen that guy without facial hair.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't that
I
weird?
think it has his eyes.
Can you think of people that you've never seen without facial hair? And then have you ever done that where like somebody shaves a beard or a mustache and they just look totally different?
Yeah.
I can't remember Melton without facial hair. I bet he's had it. I bet we've worked with him when he hasn't had it.
Don't know.
In fact, I bet I played poker with him once when he didn't have it. But I can't remember him without it.
You know, one time I gapped my...
Forrester, stand up.
Forrester? Why is Scott standing
But don't
up?
you think like...
Let me just see your face. I'm trying to remember. Do you have facial hair? Yeah.
Yeah, Scott's got stubble.
I've never seen Forrester without facial hair.
I have.
Burt Reynolds. Like if you go back and watch Deliverance, Burt Reynolds in Deliverance looks so weird because you just picture Burt Reynolds as Smokey or as the bandit, right?
Yep.
But I can't remember if this was here or radio. I'm going to say it was radio. I accidentally gapped my stubble one day, and so I had to shave the whole thing. And I think it took Lance like 2 or 3 days. He's like, you shaved your beard. And I was like, I did it 3 days ago. He was like, no. Yeah. But it's just weird.
Well, I'm just noticing now that you're talking about it that you don't have it as thick as you had it.
Yeah, it's not as thick today as it has been.
Well, I did it. I trimmed it this morning, so that could be it. Yeah. Like I trim it every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You remember when you had the Gordon's fish fry beard?
Oh, 100% during the pandemic. Pandemic only.
Yeah.
You never got to see that, Tyler.
Yep. Dunaway went full gray beard.
I'll send it to you. 863 days.
What? That's how long you had it?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
No, I trim up Lance every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you've caught me on a trimmed up day.
Very routine. Back to it yesterday.
I've got a routine I like.
So a man from Murray, Kentucky was arrested last week after police say he released a raccoon inside of a business. Now, this comes just months after the same man was arrested for attempting to evade police officers on a mule.
The same guy?
Same guy.
Okay. I'll hear him out.
It looks like cops might have taken him down on his head.
Yeah, that was That was there was an incident at a rest.
June 6, 2025.
That's true. Could be the raccoon.
Boy, that raccoon looks pissed.
It really does, doesn't it?
They always are.
Yeah.
Murray Police Department responded to a call that a person had intentionally released a raccoon into an open business and then fled the scene. Soon after, officers initiated a traffic stop on Jonathan Mason, 40 years old, seen right here. According to police, he refused to roll down his windows or exit his vehicle. Officers, as you can tell by this, physically removed Mason from the vehicle. Investigators learned that the raccoon was released into the business, actually bit a person, and that Mason was previously warned that he was not allowed on the property of the business.
Other than the head damage, a very pleasant mugshot for our guy here.
Very
he
happy.
Pleased with himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I'm in prison. This is not so bad.
Like the raccoon got somebody, I did my job.
That's right.
Perfect plan.
Just this time a week ago, I was riding a donkey through town. So this is an upgrade for me.
He was arrested for a lot of charges, including resisting.
Yeah. I think the forehead tells you he was resisting arrest.
Cruelty to animals in the second degree as well.
I wonder what the raccoon did.
It bit somebody. I don't know why that's cruel to the raccoon.
You go straight to the hospital on that one, don't you?
Oh,
you don't roll. You don't roll the dice and say, "Let's see if it."
I mean,
go ahead and give me the shots.
Yeah,
it just starts getting blacker and blacker.
Yeah, you don't wait to see if something happens there. If a raccoon bites you, it is straight to the ER.
So Justin Kimball, 41 years old, of Mountain View, currently on probation for a DWI, crash with injuries, serving a suspended execution of a 3-year sentence in the Missouri Department of Corrections. Yet he called the cops himself when a gun deal he arranged went south. Some of these people's stupidity.
Yeah.
On June 3rd, Kimball contacted the Howell County Sheriff's deputies, claiming he purchased a gun from someone who refused to refund his money after learning he was a felon. Now, while en route to investigate, Deputy Timothy Gordon observed Kimball driving a vehicle with no registration. Deputy Gordon stopped the accused, who he knew should have not been driving due to the suspended license. Now, during the traffic stop, Kimball was discovered to be intoxicated and behaving erratically. Failed field sobriety test, blood alcohol level of 0.309, according to court documents, was taken into custody for a 24-hour DW hold. Meanwhile, Deputy Brandon Barnes made contact with the other party in the gun transaction. He learned the recent transaction was not, in fact, a sale but a barter gun for guns. Now, the other party is considered by law enforcement to be a victim in the transaction. However, because she disclosed and provided photographic evidence of the near-fatal encounter she had with Kimball in April of 2025. Now, she was allegedly giving Kimball a ride. When he began acting erratically, he pulled out a black powder revolver, placed it against her head. Whoa. She heard the hammer cock and succeeding in swiping the muzzle away from her head before Kimball fired, blowing out the driver's side window and leaving powder burns on the victim's face. She says she has feared Kimball since that day, but she had traded guns with him before. The attempted barter disagreement occurred that day because Kimball returned the traded gun to her, then later demanded it back. When she refused, he then called law enforcement.
So much wrong in this story. Yeah, so much in this story is just poor decision making by all parties involved here.
Well, I mean, if somebody tries to blow my brains out, I'm probably not going to go back and try to do a business deal with
a black powder revolver, no less.
That's right. I am going to.
I mean, that sounds very old school duel.
It does.
You were going to get killed pirate style by this guy.
And it's like that logo.
And by the way, the safety system there on the black powder gun,
you don't think it's good?
Not high tech.
Yeah, there's the safety on there.
You
is
could accidentally shoot somebody with that thing.
Yeah.
And yourself. It could blow up in your hand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just envisioning like putting it, they have to stuff it down in the muzzle with powder.
Hammerhead Shark recently crashed down on a Splinter City disc golf course in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. While waterspouts can pull fish from the sea and drop them over land, the culprit was more of common fish foe, an osprey that had lost its lunch.
Oh, man.
Now, the unusual event took place May 18th near the 11th hole of the wooded course near the ocean. According to Jonathan Marlowe, who witnessed the hammerhead fall while he was playing disc golf, he told Garden and Gun magazine, quote, "Not uncommon to see osprey carrying something, but you take note because it's really cool to see. I thought it would be a random fish. Instead, small, dead hammerhead shark, easily identifiable by its wide, mallet-shaped cranial structure."
I have a friend, this is a true story, which you normally say before something that's not a true story, but it's 100% true.
That is a small-ass hammerhead, by the way.
That is a very small hammerhead.
It has to be a baby, because I saw one getting caught on James Spann's feed the other night, sadly from down at the Gulf Coast, and
I've seen 16-footers before.
It was a pretty big one.
Yeah.
It was
Not
being reeled in and released.
but
but they were huge. It was huge. 16 feet.
Friend of mine playing golf, and a snake just falls out of the sky and lands on the green, and they look up and it was an eagle or hawk. They couldn't tell, but eagle or hawk had the snake, and maybe the snake bit it. I don't know, but it somehow lost grasp of the snake, just fell straight and lands right on the green where they're putting.
Because of our time of our show, all my golf is afternoon and usually ends around sunset. And somewhere in the final hour of daylight every day at our beautiful course, our friends at Bent Brook, just off I-459, there is a bald eagle that is nested over there. And it always fishes in that final hour. And people are always amazed if they're not out there every day. But it's almost like we take time to just enjoy it because it comes wherever its home is and sits right there by the golf pasture over there by 8 or 9 on the windmill and by 6 on the brook, and it'll sit in the tree for a second, and then all of a sudden it decides now's the time, and it'll go and it'll circle one of the big ponds out there, and it'll go down and it'll grab a nice sized fish every day.
Yeah, they're good at it.
And it'll come up.
Yep.
And it never drops it.
Nope.
And it flies right back over.
I hope you haven't landmined it. This could be the white snow owl from Dumb and Dumber.
Could be his first fielding error in a long time.
Yes.
But it's beautiful to watch do its business.
Can you see the nest?
I don't know where the home nest is.
Right.
I do know there's one tree that he always
he scopes out,
that he sits in before he makes his final swoop into the lake.
I saw, we were down in Florida a couple weekends
Would be our
ago.
version of attacking the Middle East, landing in Saudi Arabia.
Right. We were down in Florida, down there in 38 a couple of weekends ago, and there's a bald eagle that has nested in a billboard. He's built his nest in a billboard.
Are they unable to change the billboard now?
No. I mean, it's an electric
there's
billboard.
so many protective rights when it comes to the bald eagle.
No, it's fortunately for the eagle, it's one of the electric billboards that's just, the sign's changing already. But no, it is, you very clearly see the nest. It's just off of 98.
So you guys play a ton of golf. I know everybody that plays a lot of golf, you've seen snakes, you've seen, maybe an occasional fox. But what's the weirdest thing you've seen on a golf course as far as wildlife?
Not weird. I mean, I had a coyote when I played in Las Vegas last time. They walked through our green between 4 of us.
Well, that's unusual.
That is unusual.
It was by itself. Yeah. We were scared that it was full of rabies to start with. Yeah. Rabbit, it was the word I was looking for, hoping that was right. We get a lot of deer.
I've seen a lot of, Ballantrae has got a lot of wild turkeys. I've seen a lot of wild turkeys out of Ballantrae.
Yeah. I've seen them out at Robert Trent Jones, the wild turkeys, big ones.
Oh, yeah, they are. They are quite large.
You ever seen a wild cart girl out there?
I mean,
that is trash. Here's Jim with the beard, the pandemic beard back in the day. Forster's found a couple of these here. There's one. I'm Jim Motorboat and Dunaway on the T-shirt there. Remember that one?
Uh-huh. Oh,
that's down on Lake Martin. That's the old beard.
You look lost at sea.
Yep.
Mr. Dunaway was recovered.
That's me playing golf at a local golf course during the pandemic.
Can I say something without you thinking I'm taking a shot at you?
Yeah.
You look far younger without the beard.
Thank you.
I mean, did that come across as a shot?
No, not at all. Okay. Here's the first time I shaved my head while I had the beard during the pandemic. I was bored, if you did that.
You take some amazing pictures.
Yes, you do. What were you doing at the pandemic,
I've never seen the close-ups anyone takes like Dunaway.
Jim, how'd you get through the pandemic? Selfies.
Yeah.
A lot of selfies.
No, I had already grown the beard, so one night I decided I'm going to try shaving my head and see what that feels like. And that's when I decided not to go back to the hair during the pandemic. So
I think I've gotten used to you with a shaved head now. Like it was startling at first.
Yeah, buzzed head now. It's buzzed. It's not
I've
shaved
always
like that right there.
I've always told you I think that's your better look.
Yeah.
Didn't Ronnie tell you got to get like in Bruce Willis shape to do the buzz?
Well, he's working on it. Way to wellness.
Yeah, he says I needed abs.
Ronnie can't handle that. All he knew is cut hair.
So I went. Lost some weight and dropped the hair there. Worked out good. Show 971, 73 days away from the start of the college football season. That was Trash, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Something, when I was playing golf Friday, got down the back of my shirt and was stinging or biting me.
Oh, no.
And
Scorpion.
And I kept going, God, something keeps stinging or biting me. And they're like, well, untuck your damn shirt, idiot. And I was like, great plan, guys. And I finally untucked my shirt, and it fell out the back. We couldn't find what it was. but it was obviously 2 stings and or bites on my back. And to go back to the raccoon is straight to the they were like, you probably should go, just in case it was a spider, black widow or brown recluse or something. And I chose to let's wait and see if it turns a color or something.
So how long ago was this?
That was Friday.
All right. And we're good now?
Oh, yeah. They went away pretty quickly. I think it was probably, I call them, God, what do I call them? It's sweat bees is what I call them.
So
sweat bees?
Doctor's face pain scale, where was it?
The bite?
The bites were probably, that hurt for just a second.
It's probably a 2 or 3.
I was going to say a 4.
But were you like, damn?
Well, I mean, I felt it, and I did that.
Yeah.
And then when it happened again, because first time I thought it was on the outside of the shirt. And when it happened again, I was like, okay, that's got to be inside the shirt. So I never felt anything.
But it could have been a voodoo doll, right? Somebody could have.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it would feel, I think.
Yeah.
You know what you like, the weird, I know you well enough to know, like for a minute you thought it was a spider and you're going to be like, what's the old boy's name? Peter Parker?
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That became Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Probably not Peter Piper, right? He picked a peppers.
Yeah. That's what you were about to say.
I know. The thing that would have excited you most about
Hanging
becoming
upside down?
Spider-Man is the upside down kiss.
Kirsten Dunst.
It's upside down.
Exactly. Underrated hotness. Kirsten Dunst, upside down, but only upside down.
She had fangs, though.
She did. Not everybody's perfect.
Tell me, Sydney Sweeney, right?
That's right. Game 3 tonight as we roll on ABC 7:30 for the NBA Finals. You can get a play at lanceslock.com. As he said, 5.5 is the number, where Oklahoma City is the favorite on the road in Indianapolis. Should be a lot of fun there on ABC. Hockey returns tomorrow night. Baseball, Braves playing a game here in just a few moments. On the getaway game from Milwaukee, already Cubs and Phillies underway. A lot of good stuff going on as we get closer and closer to SEC Media Days and the college football season. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.